You have literally just sanitised your own testicles. Hello and welcome to Not 40, Just Blank, a podcast where we take you back in time through the years and discuss all the weird and wonderful events within it, which we think make it so memorable. Each episode sees us chatting through all the news events, sports, TV, film and music of a particular year, as well as the odd and funny personal stuff we can remember. Come and join us on our journey through the 90s here on Not 40, Just Blank. Hey listeners, Jim here to tell you that this is an extended episode, but still full of all our usual quality nonsense. Oh, and make sure you stick around right to the end for one of our favourite ever outtakes. Oh, I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. I want to start another episode of Not 40, Just Blank. And this time, we're turning our gaze onto the beast that was 1996. I'm joined, as ever, by my fellow Spice Boys, Shorty Spice, and Shares Way Too Much Spice. Phil and Rich, bloody good to see you. Are you both well?
Zigga zigga.
Oh, hey, beautiful.
Zigga hola como está.
Holy shit balls, this took a turn. Right, in that case, I think it's best if we dive straight on into it. So, 1996, gents. Holy bloody moly. We're only adults, aren't we?
Yeah.
18 years of age. We're legal drinkers. We're able to vote and change the course of the political climate of the country if we didn't have such massive hangovers. So, did university beckon or did the world of employment come calling? What on earth did we get up to in this life-changing year? Richard Dello, enlighten us.
Well, my friend, I was still dossing around a little bit, really. I mean, I should have been. I did the school thing, I did the college thing, but then I thought I should have really got a job then, but I wasted more time on more colleges.
Yes.
Whereas them colleges, like your prospects and places like that where you used to get paid, like, I don't know, £35 a week or whatever, to actually sort of be educated, and potentially you get an apprenticeship at the end of it.
World, isn't it?
But I remember, like I say, the Prospects College type thing, and while I was there, they used we was mechanical engineers, and you used to have mechanics on the other side, and on one side you used to have like a car that the mechanics used to work on.
Yeah. And
then one time, me and my mate, I think it was Riggsy at the time, went in the car. And I think Keith West was maybe with us, and we decided
anything in a vest with Keith.
Anything in a vest with West, and we decided we just started smashing up the car, like literally kicking it, pulling off the women. It's like, you know, the bonus level in Street Fighter 2. Do you remember that? Where
like,
you just sort of like
Streets of Rage or something.
Yeah, that sort of thing. Yeah. And it was kind of
was this a car that was being worked?
Yeah, by the mechanics. So we started smashing it up.
So did you essentially then destroy their projects type thing?
Well,
so their grades?
Because at the time there's a guy that spotted us, and he obviously grassed us up.
Yeah.
Then me, like, I don't know, in my mind thinking, I thought, I'll have a word with this guy, and then thinking, okay.
Took my way out of it.
Yeah, kind of. I thought if by putting sort of a bit of sort of like...
okay. Bit of the frightening.
Yeah, frightening on him. But no, he didn't. That worked out worse, and he grasped me again. So...
2 for 1.
So he was a full-on grasp. But yeah, it didn't matter. I learned my lesson from that anyway. But I was still, like I say, I think I still had like a bit of trust issues with my parents. My parents knew I was a bit of a wrong. And my mum, I could pull kind of like...
Bit of a wrong.
Well, not a bit of a wrong, a bit of a rogue type thing. And I was never wrong and...
A lovable one.
A lovable rogue, that's it. But my dad wasn't putting up with any shit. And there was a time where... he accused me.
You would have arrested him, though.
Well, no, he would have done. And this is the thing he should have done.
Figure 4 on him, Alan.
Off the top rope, boom. But he accused me of stealing his trousers. And
whilst wearing
I mean, bear in mind, like, I used to like, I'm not proud of this, but anyway, I used to take change out of my mum's pocket and stuff like that and things like that. So I didn't have a great track history. But the thing is, my dad accused me of not just his normal trousers, his work trousers.
Wow.
And the fact of like,
some things are beyond the pale.
You know, I'm 6'2", and my dad, I think, was like 5'10".
Yeah.
So like, could you imagine like
a lovely pair of jack-ups?
So yeah, I'm going to nick your trousers, Dad. I'm going to rock up, going to go up to zeros with your trousers. That's what I'm going to do, Dad. Michael Jackson.
With your lovely pair of cream Ferrers.
You got any black gloves, man?
Yeah, pretty much.
Just the one.
It's like, what I don't know, equivalent of I know Peter Crouch trying on Kevin Keegan's trousers.
Yeah.
You stand out like a sore thumb. But it was just, he didn't even stop there. Like I told him that, like I pointed him out the logic, but he was not having it. He was going, well, I bet you sold them to your friends. Like,
the short ones. Who are the short
I bet
ones?
you sold them to your friends, like your trousers. Like they wanted like a 60-odd-year-old man's trousers. Like, here you go, boys. You know what I've got.
Yeah.
Like,
You looked great in them, Phil, to be fair.
pretty much, he's rocking them like that. So, yeah, a lot of weirdness sort of going on and stuff like that. I don't know. We'll talk about it later. But celebrated Euro '96.
Indeed.
It was my 18th birthday when we won the penalty shootout against Spain. And
Of course, it was towards the end of June, wasn't it? Yeah.
end of June. And how do you remember celebrating the game?
I imagine a couple of drinks.
Couple of
maybe
drinks.
some
Phil,
singing,
how did you
dancing.
celebrate?
I
Either the
remember-
game or your 18th?
No, I remember working on the Spain game, actually, and I was coming home from work because it was a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, what was you working as?
I just worked up at Hadley.
Oh,
okay.
Supreme, and I remember
I thought you were Justin Hadley as like a random sort of like helper.
I believe he was a waitress in a cocktail
Yeah.
bar there.
Because I remember it was a Saturday afternoon. And I remember coming home at the time of kick-off, and I walked past the Benfleet Tavern pub.
Yeah.
And it must have been the penalties then. And you just heard like massive cheers.
eruption,
So, I was just
yeah.
like, so I didn't actually see that game, but obviously, so I didn't celebrate that one at all, really. I did the next one. I've got a story from the
that's the
Germany
story.
game.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did you celebrate?
Well,
that,
I
Phil?
celebrated it by taking 3 pills, but not just any pills cut with angel dust. And I've got to tell you, I've never been so off my face
Where was
in
you
my
then?
fucking life. Well, we went to Adlib or Glow or whatever it was called, the one next
Yeah.
to Tots.
Yeah.
Comedian, wasn't it? Or Adley.
Yeah, comedian, whatever it's called at the
He went
time.
for
It was
about
one of
6
them
or
3.
7
So
names, didn't it? But yeah.
They ended up, I don't know what the fuck it was called in the end. But yeah, I remember like taking these like 3 pills and like I was upstairs, I was on the dance floor, I was dancing with this girl Jenna Jones, and I remember going to, do you want to go to the chill out room in a minute? She goes, what the fuck are you talking about? We are in the chill out room. And then I looked around, it was like, vroom, like slow motion. It's like, oh my fucking God. It was like all things like that. I remember some guy asked me for the time. I told him to fuck off. I don't like again. I like just randomly like just ridiculous stuff. But the worst thing was when we got back to Benfleet, I saw 3 tigers like eating. Well, what I thought was stealing and eating like 3 boxes of milk tray out of the
3
24
lions, though.
No, it wasn't. It was 3 tigers.
They weren't
it was
wearing your dad's
it might
trousers,
have been
were they?
3 lions. It could have been 3 lions. Could have been 3 lions with the football. It would have made sense. But they were stealing like it was either milk tray or that from the 24-hour garage in Tarpots.
Not Frosties.
No.
Ah.
So, and then
Too obvious.
it didn't really get much better than that because I remember going home and I think it was about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Again, with my bladder, I used to hold in. For some reason, I don't know why, I've always held in the drink and that. And for this night, it just backfired on me big time. And I pissed myself in the downstairs toilet, like literally on the floor. And it's dripping down. And
So close.
I remember calling out for my mum at 4.
Oh, that's bad news. Happy birthday, love.
It's the soda great.
That's like the second podcast we've shared out to your mum.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, shout out to Lindello for
For putting up with you.
for
Hats off to that woman.
mopping the piss. The
The
follow-up
Lindello
album.
story.
Yeah,
Mopping the piss.
mopping the piss. So yeah, that's pretty much. Like I say, with me, also the other thing. Saturday job, I had the prospect thing going on, but for other income, and mainly this was just for buying like I don't know, hash money. Really, we used to.
You could have called it sundries, but he went.
They
he
went for hash,
money.
but yeah, but well, that's basically what it was. But you went to Southend United, so you got to watch the game. You got paid £8 for being a ticket attendant, and you got paid £8. You're given a hot dog and a Mars bar, and like for us, that was like a dream job.
I mean, I'd still be working there.
Yeah.
Well, it was
Food poisoning the next day.
Yeah.
until you got like I can't remember what the South Stand's called, whatever it was, whatever the I don't know, I can't even remember what it is.
Shit stand.
But it's one where all the fucking
Lunatics
are
go,
in, and we had to tell them that they were in the wrong fucking seat.
Yeah.
So you had to go up to hooligans, like
Good luck, lads.
18-year-old
Yeah.
boys, like still young looking, still
Yeah.
got spots and all that shit. Go, excuse me, sir, you're not in the right seat, can you get out? And yeah, you know what's coming.
I imagine
don't you?
that went well.
A big like 2 fingers,
Yeah.
fuck off, mate, and all that
Yeah.
sort of stuff. And you even got radio down sometimes, and like Stuart would come over to you and go, Vic Jobson's watching you. And it's like, I almost said Vic Reeves. That'd be weird.
He was always
But
there.
yeah. So it it was just a whole sort of again.
So what did you do if they refused to move?
Oh, nothing.
No, just walked
Nothing.
away.
It's just
well,
like,
I tried.
Yeah, see, that's
that's what I mean. It's just, but you.
It's only £8 on a hot dog.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not losing my teeth for this.
We got to watch sort of. I think Ronnie Whelan was at the. I think he was either player manager or something like that. It was it was good times though. There's loads of us that did it, but you used to turn up and it was just like you. I don't even remember actually them giving you like a spot or whatever or a guarantee thing. You would just literally turn up and they'd just give you that sort of I mean, that was brilliant for me.
I wonder why they're in so much financial strife. But no. Apart from that,
I've got some other stories, boys. But you guys got some memories?
I'm sure we've got bits and pieces. Mr. Reynolds, can you remember anything of your 18th year?
I can, yeah. So basically pubs and clubs again, wasn't it? But using my own ID this time. So I didn't have to,
so you weren't, Boris Karloff? Or
I wasn't having to memorise the 3 middle names of a certain person. So it was quite a relief now that I could just use my own one. So that was good.
Yeah, because you got there first out of all of us, obviously, didn't you?
Yeah.
I can't even remember. What is it? It didn't come in properly, did it? The proper ID.
It was still paper driving license.
It
wasn't photos.
Still
it was
more than fraudulent, but at least you knew the details on it. Yeah, that was the only thing.
You could blag it.
Yeah, so it was just doing that. Like I say,
and you always knew someone who could get you fake ID, wasn't it? Well, you even started at college, didn't it, with the fake ID?
Yeah.
Sorry, mate.
Yeah. So, obviously, I think I mentioned I used to borrow my friends, didn't I? But so it's good like that, just that relief knowing you don't have to do that now. Use your own panic. It's quite good.
Unless you really capitulate under pressure and you get your own date of birth.
I
don't know. I don't like this.
So just again. Bread and cheese, probably by this point, I think it was, wasn't it?
What, eating bread and cheese?
Bread and cheese, that's what you do all the time.
Stuff your face.
Just living like an old French.
Bill got up to 32 stone just eating bread and cheese.
I remember being a real
tough years.
A real recluse that year. You lot asking me, no, I'll just stay. Some more bread and cheese.
Do pan, do boursin. That's all I need.
It's like the Alan Partridge breakdown, but you didn't eat Toblerone, you had just bread and cheese.
He drove to Milton Keynes just for the baguette.
I did drive to Milton Keynes. That's story I've got.
Oh my god!
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So passed my driving licence in '96. So I left it a year. I didn't go straight for it. So passed in '96.
Yeah, likewise.
The first car, the brown Mini Metro.
Ooh, hot!
What
absolute lady wagon.
Was it a shagging wagon?
Fuck, yeah. I think if you shagged it, it would have collapsed. It was brilliant. I remember it used to. It was like way ahead of its time. It used to have the speed regulators then because every time you hit 70 miles an hour, the thing shook. It's like driving.
I'm not going any faster than this.
It was great.
Just for fear of losing.
Great car. And I always remember because you didn't have much money in them days, always playing that game where you didn't have enough petrol, but you could still get. I could get it.
Just on a few.
Amount of times I broke down. I remember Pitsy flying over, breaking down.
It's absolutely dodgy.
Oh god!
Down a pound lane. I remember breaking down there, just running out of petrol. Just
should give us a shout.
It's hilarious.
I never ran out of petrol before.
No.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. When you was young,
but then you obviously passed your test in sort of
I smashed it. Yeah,
later years.
I hit. I think 20. I think
2021 maybe.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's respectable.
So when you were living sort of paycheck to paycheck, it was a bit more. I could get there if I just put it into neutral and coast down the hill, saving every little bit of petrol you possibly could.
It was great. It was quite nerve wracking, but it was brilliant. Yeah. Looking back, it was funny. But the Milton Keynes story was I remember. Ocean Colour Scene was doing a gig at Milton Keynes,
right?
And I couldn't have passed my driving test long, so me and a couple of mates I was driving to go there, and I didn't have a radio at the time. You had them pushing radios you could put in, you could pull them out. I had one of them, but I never fitted it.
Yeah.
So like Dan, who came with us, was like, I'd do that for you. So I'm outside his house and he's like welding it, like doing it all together. It fucking worked. I was like, fucking that's brilliant.
What do you mean welding it? Yeah, homemade welding kit.
Yeah, I don't know how. He must have done it. I can't remember. He did say it, but he got it all fixed to that.
You remember Danny? He never left home without his arc welding kit and visor.
Anyway, he got it working. It was brilliant. So we had like tape on all the way, playing, and we're driving along the M25, and it's like, the Johnny Boys out, and smoke started coming out of the radio. Like, what's the fuck's that? Like, shit, turn it off. We had to put it out. It was hilarious.
So did you actually get to the gig?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, it was quite. Probably if we'd have left it any longer, the car would have probably blown up.
To be fair, most of our first cars are probably worth more burning than they were actually as actual
Scrap
functioning.
metal.
Yeah, quite.
Yeah,
Insurance write-offs, isn't it?
Did you? I mean, I know we talked about it. I think it was the last one, wasn't it? Noz's car made Heap of the Week, but did you boys?
in the Tots cover.
Mine would have won it easy, but I never went up there though, or drove. I definitely didn't drive up there.
Well,
So.
you just knew.
No, I just yeah, probably.
I just know.
You just know. Oh, it's fucking.
It would have definitely won it.
It's a dead cert.
Yeah.
Put the rosette on it now.
This one's a beauty.
Well, you had the Escort, didn't you, Jim?
I had the Terracotta Road Warrior. It was
The Terracotta Road Warrior.
it was a B registration Ford
Did you-
Escort in. I think it was like a weird. Well, it was essentially rust.
Did you?
But that was the actual colour.
Did you call it that as well? Like, you know, like I don't know, sort of, you know, in like Millennium Falcon, like Han Solo calls it like her, like she, like he calls it. Like,
No,
did you,
I never went.
Come on,
her.
girl, let's get
No, it was
No, it
more
wasn't
just,
like-
just kick it and hope it
Yeah,
lasts,
yeah.
sort of thing. Yeah,
So a bit of domestic violence type.
towards the car.
yeah,
only,
to run.
yeah. It was a beautiful thing. Didn't last long, granted, but you know, enough said about that.
They were funny, weren't they? First
It was. I just can't believe they'd let you out in a car for like 10 hours with a person who's got dual controls, and they go, "Well done, you're safe." And then it's like you can go on, as you say, the motorway. It's like,
Yeah.
I've never done this before
I know,
on my
it
own.
was scary,
Who's going to
wasn't
stop it if it goes wrong? It's just that's a carnage, isn't it?
I was thinking today, what year was it where Noz was working at home base? It must have been around about this time,
Must have
wasn't
been
it?
around that, yeah.
So do you remember he would finish his shift on a Friday night,
Yeah.
he'd drive to the Bread and Cheese,
Yeah.
and then he'd drive us onto Duke's.
Yeah,
By that time, like obviously, like he didn't drink, but the whole night he would stay up. And by the time it finished, because it finished about an extra hour, wasn't it? 3 o'clock in the
Yeah, it was
morning.
about 2, 3 o'clock in the
He
morning,
would be
wasn't it? Yeah.
absolutely battered. So I remember like this time where he was driving back, and like I don't know, it was the old whatever it road on Chelmsford. He
Yeah.
The old
fell
A130,
asleep.
yeah.
He
Yeah,
fell
'cause he
asleep
was
whilst
so
driving. I
tired.
remember he was going over to the crash barriers,
Yeah.
and me, you can't drive for fucking shit, Mister
Looking to-
fucking
yeah.
22 tests or whatever the fucking grabbed the steering wheel,
Yeah.
and went fucking back and forth. It was like
Lives are in
and it was
your
just-
hand.
and he just woke up like it nonchalant,
Yeah.
like it was just like okay.
Oh, was that me? Who's driving? Oh, it's
yeah,
me. Yeah.
Oh look, the birds are out. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, look. So mate, some
just mad,
scary
isn't it?
times as well. Mate, yeah.
But you're indestructible, aren't you, at that age?
Oh,
It's
yeah,
like literally,
100%,
like,
yeah.
totally.
It's a
Just
worry.
no fear whatsoever, no consequences, no nothing. It's just
Yeah, the
live,
whole
live for the
sort of,
moment, isn't it?
Yeah,
Because that's all it was. It was, as you say, the bread and cheese was literally like a home from home
Yeah.
for 2-3 years.
He was there
almost.
every night.
Every
like,
day, every
night.
night.
I remember going there, like getting in from work, having dinner, up the pub.
Yeah, where you off to again? Where you off to again? Pub.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, it was wasn't it?
Madness. Lock-ins.
Yeah.
Lock-ins at 18. It's like, what are we doing? How are we managing to blag these?
Yeah, the lock-ins. Yeah, I forgot all about them.
Because we start obviously. So our routine was kind of me to a certain extent because I obviously worked there whilst at college. So I'd kind of developed the relationship.
We stole someone's bike one night and we did time trials
Yeah, I
on
remember
the
that.
lock-ins.
I don't know if we stole it. It was outside. But I remember doing
it?
time trials.
Oh, okay.
To be fair, it's probably mine.
We
I used to ride up there. I used to
rode
ride
up to
there, yeah.
like
Always wanted to find out who stole my bike.
time trial was ride up to Runnymede, wasn't it? Back. yeah.
Fucking
It's just madness.
Pissed
isn't
off
it?
our
Absolutely
face.
hammered and just riding your bike along
Trying
a
to think
main
of the
road.
others. Yeah, was it? I can't remember who had it with. Oh, it might have been a bit later, but it was Kath. Did you have them with the other landlady?
So yeah, Pete and Sheila were the landlords when I was there.
Pete and
First
Sheila,
of all, the Geordies, and then
That's right,
Kathy
yeah.
took over.
Is that what they were, Geordies? I didn't know. Well, I say like they were.
Well, she was a Geordie. He was a Cockney, wasn't he?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But both frightening people.
Yeah, they were tough.
If they wanted
yeah.
to, yeah, they'd been pubs for donkey's years, hadn't they? It was
Yeah,
like,
I don't think they had any doormen when they were on, did they?
no.
No,
No,
They
just him.
fucking
Him
probably,
and her.
Yeah, she'd
Yeah.
bite people's nose off and spit it in the
Essentially,
road. wouldn't she?
Yeah, just off you go. You're done. Next.
Oh, mate.
But yeah, if you're on the right side, we got away with absolute murder there.
Yeah,
didn't
I can
we? It's
imagine that was a
literally
good place, yeah.
twice a week we'd get a lock in, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
Madness. Then when they clean the pipes, it's like, just let them all wait round the back as they turf everyone else out. And it was like, doors locked. And we carried on for
Yeah.
hours in there.
Yeah.
And you had that thing, I don't know if they do it anymore, you had the spillages, didn't you? So you could charge it down to, so if you like someone, couldn't you give someone a...
So essentially, yeah,
Free
if you
night.
either there was lipstick on the glass
Yeah.
or a broken glass every now and again, it would be you'd have to put that pint to the side. So
Yeah,
you just pour it into
charge
another
it to
glass. And,
spillages.
yeah,
Wow,
give it to you. Like it was a busy pub, wasn't it? On
Yeah.
a Friday night.
It was at that time. It was bizarre. It was one in, one out. I remember at times it
Yeah,
was one in, one
queuing
out.
for a
It was
pub. It's
ridiculous,
insane, isn't it? But belting pub. As soon as you walked in,
it's
it
a
was
great
like
pub.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Start pouring you off a drink.
Before it
and get you
turned
ready.
into like another Moss Eisley like.
It's a not
it got
a fun
rougher
place
and
to-
rougher, didn't it? Yeah.
Fun place to be after a few years, was it? But yeah, it's great.
No, it's all good.
Loved
mate.
it.
Was, I was going to say, did you guys have any more? Or?
One more thing I've got. The
Go
best
on.
one. Legends still speak of it today.
Right. Oh, so you're building up, Phil.
This is a big build up.
Let me
It's
start
the
myself.
Steve Simpson house party. Do you remember that one?
Oh, I forgot all about this.
So this is before social media, obviously.
Yeah.
Doesn't exist. And this house party originally was me and Steve playing Destruction Derby on, what was it, the Dreamcast? Was that on?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
That was
no,
the-
it was PlayStation. It was
it PlayStation?
Yeah, first
PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
But it's
So
that
that was the night planned. Yeah, I was just going around his
low key.
Destruction Derby
Low key.
in his front room because his parents had gone away.
Yeah,
Big telly, PlayStation.
that's all you need.
Go down shop, buy some beers. I don't know. We make a couple of phone calls, invite some people. Do you want to join us? Blah 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 blah.
But again, it can only ever be word of mouth.
Yeah.
There's no way of getting the
And
message
I
around.
I don't know how it happened, but this thing, before you know it, turned
got out of
into a
Well,
like everyone from our school,
I don't know
college.
how it happened.
yeah. Oh, mate.
Everyone from school, God, there wasn't it. And it was,
Yeah.
Like, it still baffles me today. Like
Mate, word
Really?
of mouth.
how, like
Take a look to your left.
I know that because it's. I think in a year or two. We got
Yeah.
a story for you. Innit?
But yeah, it was. Well, it's still probably my favourite house
Mate,
party. It was so fun.
Word of mouth will kill you quicker than a bullet. Put it that way. It's yeah.
It
Well,
was.
you
You was
mate?
there, weren't you? It was
Yeah,
fun.
yeah, mate.
Did you go there? Was you there?
I don't think I was.
Oh,
So what you're saying is I've missed out on the party of the century.
Oh, it was just chaos. It was so funny. And obviously Steve got his come up.
I mean,
He was
just-
like passed out on the bed.
Yeah,
He was putting sauce
fair
bananas
game.
on him, tied him up. He was
Fair.
He was absolutely caked, wasn't he?
funny
A
party.
legendary party.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember all sorts of things. Yeah, just sort of like and random people coming up.
It
and
was
just-
bizarre, wasn't it?
So how many
all-
how many were there at any one point?
Oh, it
Or
must
was
have been like 50, 60 people. Honestly,
Yeah,
it was,
it's a
it
sort
was
of one
That's
ridiculous.
quite
where
impressive.
if like John and Glennis had come back, I'm pretty sure John would have grabbed a baseball bat.
Yeah, it was.
It's that-
It was that out of
Yeah,
hand.
it's that sort of
It
thing.
wasn't enough. You couldn't have sort of sweet talked your way out of this one.
I remember walking down the
Yeah.
road at some point and seeing Ian Cook shouting down a letterbox.
just looking for
The other
this
road,
house.
going, "Oh!" thinking it was that house. It was like, "What are you doing, Cookie?" Where's the pub? It's like, "It's up there." He was like, "Oh."
You
So
can't
like,
miss
that's
it.
what I mean.
There's
How the
400
hell
people
did he know
outside.
about it? And
Yeah.
he's obviously been somewhere and just riding around and going, "Right, where's his party?" It was it was bizarre. It was so funny. It was
Remember
brilliant.
that? I just remember the word of mouth, like you say, free house. That if you've had a party was more full on, but if you had a free house,
Yeah,
essentially you
absolutely.
could have mates come around. I remember like having some mates over, and it was quite quite say tame and so to speak.
Yeah.
But I remember one night I had a mate who's he basically he used to serve up, like he used to sell pills. So he was a bit naughty, but he stole his mum's Mini. And she found out about it, and so she
Yeah.
kicked him out of the house.
Right.
So I had a free house, and he knocked on my door, and he said, "Obviously, can you come in?" So bear in mind, this is like a Wednesday night, and he's got a bag of pills, and like, I'm not joking you, he's necked about 10, while,
Like this week.
whilst watching
Yeah.
EastEnders. Like, I mean, you know you've got a drug problem, don't you?
Best program to do pills.
When you're doing 10 pills when you're watching EastEnders.
Coming up to-
I was like, what the fuck? I was like, being like, yeah, like I say, I used to, I dabble. I was like, no, you're all right, mate. It's a fucking,
Yes, it's a Wednesday.
it's a Wednesday night sort of
Yeah.
thing. And he was like, boom, he's putting on like
Couldn't have
all
been
the
Wednesday.
garage and the house music. It was like,
I'll just say though, we
it's
made
just
a
me and him.
glaring
It was
mistake.
fucking weird. And like, it was just like, you know, you get, well, like the people and pills and they get all excited and way over the top and we're the best friend and all this sort of
Yeah.
stuff. It's normally when you're on that level, it's fine. But when you're
On the
if you're in
outside
a
looking
club
in, yeah.
as well, but when you're just in your mum and dad's house and one person's doing it and the other person's not, it's really weird.
Got to be
Yeah.
a strange feeling, I imagine.
The other one had a mate as well. This used to make me laugh. We used to go around his house in Canvey, and so we, Lee,
Yeah.
Lee friend, Lee is just sort of a legend. he'd always go around people's houses. Speaking about it earlier, like if the mum and dad let you upstairs, he'd sneak in and he'd like find us. So I was saying about my mate Rory when like a bow tie and doing like arm kills, like he'd find you. He'd find them like other times when we were stoned. He'd go down when the person whose house it was go downstairs. He'd go through all their like drawers and stuff, and he'd find like poetry and shit like that, and just read it out and mock you, from over the park.
You know when he says people, what we're hearing is he found Dello's poetry.
He found the Romeo style. But he'd pull your trousers down over football time, that sort of thing. So he's always like a proper prankster. You had to sort of like be careful. But I remember this time we went around a mate's house in Canby, and he went through his mum's like personal stuff. And I remember going out of the room and then coming back to, not joking, to seeing probably a 3-foot vibrator. And I just could not believe my eyes. It was so fucking high. we
was it one of them fist ones?
It was fucking huge. We were just trying to imagine like his mum squatting. It was fucking awful. But it was just like the fact of like we was all stoned at the time, and someone named it Megatron. As in from the Transformer films, it was the most ridiculous thing ever. So yeah, but again, it's just like he would do that. The other thing I've got written down is the rabbi.
Oh yeah.
So does that story ring a bell?
It rings bells.
So this is a story, and again, I think it might be myth or whatever. But say, apparently, do we say the guy's name? Or do we just say
Mr.
Rabbi?
K. Mr. K.
All right, okay. We just say Mr. K. Basically, there was a rumour about why his dad was apparently meant to be in prison, and why he was meant to be in prison was he dressed up as a rabbi, kidnapped this 80-year-old hairdresser who was cutting his mum's hair, dressed as a rabbi. And then just took him off somewhere or whatever like that. I don't know. I mean, it's fucking bizarre. But it's just like rumours from school. Whether it's true, I don't know. But it's just. But the other thing was in the Bob Marley song, Redemption song, is the old pirates yesterday rabbi. They used to say Mr. X was just a rabbi, and I don't know why he got called the rabbi, but it was just it was bizarre. So whether his dad did but his dad must have been really jealous. If it's true, I mean, it seems extreme.
Of a great haircut.
Maybe jealous of an 80-year-old man cutting his mum's hair. Like he was thinking that she was having an affair, but she was, so there you go. But so apart from that, mates,
a tame year all round then.
Always. Sounds like
always.
So freedom from cars, lovely. So we were able to go everywhere. We couldn't afford to get anywhere.
No.
But we had the ability, should we so desire it. And if we started travelling, we might die in a massive flame.
Yeah.
Excellent news. It's a wonder we're still here. Well done, everybody.
Great days.
Great days.
Are you? Yeah, you. Are you in a strange wild man that lives in the forest eating rabbit shit and killing badgers for fun? Do you worry about your appearance for an up-and-coming job interview with the local nursery? Well, here at Don't Be Weird, Lose the Beard, our wild man face shavers will meet you deep in the woods and give you a shave that screams, "Look at me, darling, I look fabulous." With famous clients such as Tarzan, John Rambo and gentle Ben Affleck, we'll have you looking like the next CEO of Apple in no time. So call us now by yelling out "Beard" at the top of your voice from your nearest tree. Don't be weird, lose the beard.
All right then, chaps, let's take a look at the news and current affairs of 1996. What was grabbing your attention? Phil, let's start with you. What you found out in your research, old bean?
It's quite a lot. So, Take That announced they are splitting.
I mean, you have to start with the heartbreak, don't you? Wowzers.
I thought we mentioned that in the last one, but maybe it was actually they did split. I can't remember.
Was it that Robbie left in the last one, possibly? And then this time they soldiered on bravely as a four. Yeah. And then they called time. But yeah, they set up like helplines and stuff, didn't they? The Samaritans and stuff. Yeah. It's just mental, isn't it?
Crazy. Who was you? Was you Robbie or was you Gary?
I wasn't either, to be fair. At the time, I didn't like to take that at all.
I preferred, yeah.
So what was
I
that?
know Claire did.
Robbie's
Claire,
new stuff.
Claire loved them. She went to their concert. She was really upset.
Your duvet set, the Take That duvet set, was that?
That was later though.
Oh, okay.
When they came, when they returned.
When they returned.
Yeah, they were good then. So
That was just Phil's class of lovemaking, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Take that.
yeah. Jason Orange on the pillow.
Biting on a pillow. Biting on an orange.
Always loves an orange on the bill. Yeah.
That was Michael Hutchins, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Good point. Well done.
Yeah, so that
chocolate orange.
Mike
Hutchins
Tyson
loved
knocks
the
out Frank Bruno.
I mean, literally, it's just heartbreak after heartbreak.
I know.
He does. Twice as well.
He
Didn't he?
always, was it what, that year? The same year was it?
No, I mean, like,
Oh,
he's
knocked him down
out.
twice.
He's knocked him out twice.
Yeah.
He likes how
Thought
Frank
he would have learnt his lesson the first time round, wouldn't you? Any more?
Yeah, Hotmail begins.
Ooh.
A free mail service.
Who would have thunked it?
Has anyone still got a Hotmail account?
Claire has, I haven't. Yeah,
Really?
but yeah, no, it's still. I had to be fair at work. I have, yeah.
Yeah.
I think no, I've got Outlook.
Yeah, I've got
I'll tell
Hotmail.
me why, yeah.
Yeah, I'm still holding on to.
Still
Yeah,
living the
Yeah, a lot
the
of
days,
people still
the
do that.
days.
It's still quite a
Yeah.
big thing, isn't it, Hotmail?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's good. George R. Martin publishes Game of Thrones.
George, you got a stutter?
George R. Martin.
Oh, I thought you said George R.
George R.
The pirate author.
publishes Game of Thrones, the first in his series of Ice and Fire.
Oh,
Obviously going
Was
on
that
to be a
way back
massive,
then?
yeah.
Bloody hell. And he still hasn't finished it.
Nah, I don't think he has. Has he? Or he may have just. I know he hadn't when they'd finished the show, had they?
Yeah, that's to sort of invent the... They knew where the ending was going, didn't they? But I don't think they actually released the book. I'm not a fan of the
I
book.
was going to say, I don't know when you
Too much
when you
like
watch
that.
it.
Have you-
I don't know if they do know where the ending is going.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
possibly not.
what about the pop-up book series?
Oh, love
Oh,
that.
it's fucking amazing.
Love a pop-up book.
Yeah, I love a pop-up.
Especially pop-up Cersei. Oh, lovely stuff.
Do you like pop-up pirate?
Do
You
I
just
ever?
like pop-up porn,
You know
Bill.
it.
Yeah, you
Pop-up phone. Yeah, it normally pops up when you watch pop.
what you guys got anyway? I've got some more, but what do you guys?
It was the year of royal divorces. I mean, if we're carrying on down the heartbreak highway, Charles and Diana and Andrew and Fergie both finalised their divorces in this year.
Oh my god!
I mean, don't think Andrew's doing anything big these days, is he?
No, he generally stays small. He likes small.
He likes to go. Yeah,
He likes the small stuff.
He likes the small stuff. Goes under the radar. Just hangs out in like Pizza Expresses.
Trying to keep a low profile. thing
Low
at the moment.
profile, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't sweat it, Andrew. Unfortunately, there was the Dunblane massacre happening up in Scotland.
Yeah, it was crazy, wasn't it? It was.
Yeah, I don't know if I was going to say with this. I don't want to touch on it too much, but it's Andy Murray something, not something
Yeah,
to
he
do with
went
it.
to the school.
He went to the school
Yeah,
in Dunblane.
right. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yes, he would have seen.
Yeah.
fairly-
I didn't mean
fairly
like
nasty
he was
stuff,
like
yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, the worst thing that's ever happened on sort of British soil in
Yeah, it was
terms of
horrible,
gun,
wasn't it? That was horrible.
gun abuse. Yeah, ghastly stuff. Moving swiftly on in that case, Dolly the sheep. Everyone
Oh,
remember
yeah,
Dolly the sheep, the
clones.
clone,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
first
clone
cloned mammal.
Do you know who it is named after?
Dolly Parton?
It was
Was it really?
yeah. And
So, is there any other dollies? I don't really know any other dollies.
Dolly,
it was
Dolly
na-
Mixture and
it was
Dolly
named
from
after
Raggy
Dolly
Dolls.
Parton, and then
Dolly
they
from-
cloned Dolly Parton, and then she killed 5 people with country music.
Is that right?
It's,
But only 5 people.
only 5 people.
Five.
Yeah. So
It's not really aggressive country
No,
music,
exactly
Dolly's,
not.
is it? Plus she only works 9 to 5.
I think it's her.
Yeah.
I think it's her original version of "I Will Always Love You" as well. That's
Yeah.
That's the one she killed the 5 people with.
Powerful stuff.
It is, yeah. The rest of everyone else was in a coma.
Any more from you, Mr. D?
Yeah. I've got Lance Armstrong withdrew from the Tour de France in '96. Can you tell me why?
Did he have a puncture?
Ooh, that's an option. Shall I give you the options?
Oh, yeah, go on.
Okay.
I love a multiple choice.
Right. A, he couldn't get enough drugs.
So saying these genuine options.
I mean, I think we all know the answer to that. Wait till option B
He
comes.
got a puncher and cried to his mummy.
Yeah.
That's B.
And C?
C.
I mean, do we want to ask about C? he laughed before saying it. We're in trouble.
She forgot to give him a packed lunch, his mum.
Ah, Mrs. Armstrong.
And he was kind of injured as well. Yeah.
Oh,
that's
that's-
C.
still-
Is it
I
C?
think it's the
C,
packed
yeah.
lunch.
Yeah,
Sounds
packed
most
lunch,
logical.
He didn't
It
have
sounds the
enough.
most
So what-
logical one.
So what would be the thing in your packed lunch that you would lose your shit?
What, on the Tour de France?
No, just in anything.
Oh, what if it wasn't in there?
Yeah, if you didn't get like you got his packed lunch.
So
and
the,
you opened
the
it.
sandwiches are given.
Yeah, have you ever had a packed lunch drop?
A packed lunch drop.
Strop. As in
strop.
like, oh, for fuck's sake. Like,
Oh, yeah, most days at school I was like... Yeah.
Wagon wheels! Bullshit,
It's
man.
exactly that. If it wasn't a jammy wagon wheel
Yeah.
in there, I was...
Yeah, it'd be a sweet section. It'd be a chocolate bar or
Oh,
something.
yeah, no one's bothered about the packet of raisins, are they?
no. Yeah, no, I did like raisins. But yeah, no, you give
Did
it
you,
a take.
did you ever get a Capri Sun or a Ribena in there?
Yeah,
or,
must have done. But yeah, again,
Could give or
water
take,
fountain. Water fountain, you could do that.
Carton of unbombed.
You ever trade off your sandwiches as well?
Yeah.
Nah, probably not.
Yeah, I was into that.
I used to have
Probably
just took plain turkey sandwiches in a little
Yeah,
white
so
bread.
you did well. Did you ever top trumpet, mate, or did you trade one?
I used to trade for more savoury. I used to go for more crisps.
Did you do it like a bit like where you got a silver or gold panini?
yeah, for 2 sandwiches. I mean, I'd
Two sandwiches for a panini.
for a panini sticker. I think I might have been done, mightn't I?
Panini section.
panini.
Toasted for that
Oh,
panini.
that would be delightful, wouldn't it? Brie and cranberry.
Oh,
Imagine.
who's bringing them in as well? That's brilliant.
Rich people. No one mixing in my circle, sadly.
Keith Wells has got like a slur on him.
I mean, he had a lovely Fortnum and Mason's
he
hamper.
did, didn't he?
I'm bringing out my Tesco's carrier bag.
Daniel
with
Champ.
foil wrap sandwiches.
Daniel Champ had a foot long.
So I understand.
Yeah. That's but yeah, that was the bullshit about Larmstrong. Oh, Larmstrong.
I love old Larmstrong.
There we go. We're Larmstronging it up. The other thing is Red Bull launches. Do you remember the famous slogan?
Was it
Gives you wings.
Gives you what from
Gives
the very
you wings,
outset?
yeah. Gives you wings.
Was that 96?
Yeah,
Really?
96.
Bloody hell.
Gives you wings, and it also gives you cavities, and also probably anger issues due to lack of sleep.
I would have thought so. Yeah, type 2 diabetes.
That was 96. That's bloody early, wasn't it?
Well, if you're one of our friends, it gives you a heartburn, and so much so that you think you're having a heart attack and you have a day off work.
That's very true. Yeah.
Can't name names,
No,
but
exactly,
they know who they are.
You know.
Any more, Mr. Reynolds? Coming back to you.
Spice Girls. So we had Take That Split. We had Spice Girls Film.
There was a little 5-piece
Was it?
gap in the market.
Yeah.
So we
they came.
we
Kicked
talked
the
about this
door in.
before, didn't we? We come up with a theory.
Yeah.
Do you want to hear it?
Always up for a theory.
You know, like the Doctor Who theory, when one doctor
They
dies,
regenerate.
They regenerate.
They
Oh my
regenerate.
God! So
Take That Split.
who's the like replacement?
Well, shall I give you
I
the
imagine
obvious? Shall I give you the obvious
This
one?
is subjective.
The obvious one is Mark Owen regenerates into Baby Spice.
yeah.
Yeah.
See if you can get.
He
the-
sang Babe.
I'd go.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, and he also shagged the pig from the film Baby.
Pig in the City.
That is something. I'd go-
Jason Orange would have to be sporty.
Yeah, I would say Howard is scary
Well, 'cause-
Who's the other
why?
one?
Why is he scary?
because he grew those awful dreadlocks, and they
So
didn't suit
Gary
him.
would be.
And he does a really
Gary
great
would
one.
be ginger, and that
Which
would leave
means
Robbie to be
Robbie is posh. It works.
Yeah, that's pretty.
It scans fairly well. That's not a bad
regenerated.
theory. fellas.
Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah.
Yeah, so Spice Girls, obviously
yeah.
they were huge, weren't they?
I believe they got a number
Burst
1 or
on the
2.
scene, didn't
Yeah, they smashed 96 up,
First on
didn't
the
they?
scene, I got Nintendo 64 debuts.
Okay.
The 64. Oh, I mean, now we're stepping it up, aren't we?
What
And then-
games were on there? Because I don't remember that
That would
much
just
of it.
be
You
Mario,
shoot
wouldn't it?
Mario, yeah.
Yeah, really?
I didn't never like Nintendo.
No.
Never got into it.
Always the same.
Yeah, again, I
Sega or
love all
Sony
the
kind of guy.
I love all the Mario games. That's like you say, that's pretty much it.
pretty
isn't
much
it?
it,
I've
isn't
never got into the Zeldas. Never.
I was going to say the only other thing that you associate is Zelda, isn't it?
Yeah, Zelda, the Donkey Kongs, a little bit, but even then, they're not really. You can't really do too much with them. They show up as good characters in Mario Kart.
Yes, exactly.
Again,
But as a standalone,
yeah,
terrible.
Mario Kart is genius as well.
Yeah,
So,
that's
I
the
love
only good thing that's really ever done it.
Yeah.
Although the party games is quite good on the Switch, I quite like that.
it. Yeah, what party games?
Party game.
I don't know, it's like you
Bob
just, play,
the Apple
you just
or
play loads of games and it's quite good.
Okay, fair
It's
enough.
good. But I wasn't a fan of Nintendo.
He sells
Okay.
it.
And then Bin Laden declares war on the United States.
Whoa. Death to the West.
They probably just thought, some old dude's fucking losing it.
He won't
Whatever,
last.
mate,
Yeah, he's living in a cave.
Oh, whatever, mate. Yeah,
One cold snap will take him out. Just
Yeah,
humour
gonna do
him for a
fuck all,
bit.
yeah.
Exactly. How wrong they were. Man alive, there's some stuff going on. Have you got any more, Richie D?
Yeah, I have tennis player Pete Sampras won Wimbledon and Tim Henman won fuck all.
Won the semi-finals.
Yeah.
Won Hinman Hill. And
he won a $5 on a scratch card.
He
That's
won
what
hearts and minds.
Yeah.
he won,
Until
he
the
won
semi-final.
quarterfinals for the third year running.
I've got another bit of sport, but I'll go with this one. Did you know that Marvel Comics filed for filed for bankruptcy.
Did they?
Yeah, they did, yeah.
Cool, imagine that.
That was that.
They didn't, well, they
I
made
believe
a
they're
big
worth a couple of
mistake.
quid now, aren't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they made a big mistake. They should have carried on.
Wowzers.
Got the old Atlanta 96. Do you remember the mascot? It was really shit.
So this is for the Olympics.
Yeah, so bearing in mind it's Atlanta 96. It was really shit.
No, instantly forgettable, whatever it was.
Yeah, you would do as well. It was what's it called? Inflatable man with it was like an inflatable tube man. It was that's what I think.
What, like those things that go outside car showrooms?
Yeah,
Oh,
pretty
what,
much.
they
Yeah,
really
what you got
tall
now?
things?
Yeah, it was like that. Yeah. And
Oh,
do you remember
shit.
the famous boxer that opened up the ceremony?
So that would have been Muhammad Ali. Right?
Yeah, well, Barry McGuigan. yeah, it was Ali. But speaking of boxing, while we're here, a famous incident happened in a fight in '96. Do you remember what?
It wasn't the biting of the year, was it?
Yeah.
Was that really?
96? Was it really?
Holyfield
Mike
and
Tyson bites Evander Holyfield's ear off, then sells it on eBay. Holyfield then gets his revenge by calling up John Wayne Bobbitt's wife to cut off Tyson's dick.
Oh.
Yeah, so...
Did she succeed?
Well, I don't know. Apparently it's in his biography.
I had
And
Mike,
who
innit?
bought the ear? Do we know?
Oh, that's maybe. It
Van
was-
Gogh?
Yeah.
Fuck it.
He come back in the time
Yeah,
machine.
so his glasses sort of sat properly
came
on
back,
his face.
came back with
Jim,
Billy-
you know how to spoil it, didn't you? I mean, how ridiculous is that?
I know.
Van
Yeah.
Gogh.
At this point,
Van Gogh.
Yeah.
He come back with Bill and
We're
Ted.
talking regeneration and that, but
Yeah.
fucking time travel and...
No,
I've got to learn to name my place. I'm very sorry. everybody.
You know.
And last week, two suicide bombers killed 25 people in Israel, and Hamas claims it. I almost said hummus, but
Like it was a goal. It's like
Yeah, I claimed it,
Julius
yeah.
Goals panel. Yeah, I love that
Go
one.
to VAR on this one.
See, I've got a thing on this with the 72 virgins. Like, apparently, like
Oh, when
about
they go
audit.
to
Right, I've always wondered about this. Like this meant to be like a reward, isn't it? 72 virgins.
Yeah, await you in heaven. Kind of
Have you ever been with a virgin?
It's a lot of blood in it.
out of nowhere, Reynolds just
It's
drops
like
the bomb and then takes a drink nonchalantly, like he said nothing of consequence.
It's not.
Holy
Yeah, it's not.
Christ.
It's not something. I don't think you want to do that 72 times, mate.
Yeah,
To be
I mean,
fair.
it seems a lot of work.
And also, for the female perspective, if female suicide bombers, do they get 72 male versions? And could you imagine that?
Oh, how
Could you imagine
depressing for them, yeah.
72
Jesus.
guys doing like
hello,
one
lad.
pump jumps.
10 seconds of
Oh, I got off
their
again.
best work and then,
for fuck's
sorry. Just getting apologised.
You get
to
through
for that.
them all in 72 seconds.
72 computer programmers.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
It's like, I don't.
I mean, that was accurate. at best. Forgive me. I've finished.
I've gone.
I mean, unfortunately, speaking of the bombing side of things, there's more IRA nonsense. There's a big old bomb in Docklands and a huge one in Manchester that went off in that year as well.
Yeah, that was just before the Euros, wasn't it?
So
Yeah.
the
Was
Manchester
that-
one was during one of the games, yeah.
Germany, Russia.
And there was
Yeah.
fucking. Did you hear about the bomb in Wales?
Already I regret asking this, but no, Richard, what happened?
Tom Jones, sex bombs.
He really was the bomb, wasn't he? Beautiful stuff. Lovely jokes, Richard. Lovely
Lovely.
jokes.
Daddy Jokes would be proud of
Danny jokes indeed. I've got one last little piece of information, but it's only sport based. It's apparently Man United won the league and cup double.
Ooh.
What else?
Yeah.
And do you
Whatever.
remember in the FA Cup, the famous suits?
Yeah, the
Was that the Spice Boys?
was the Spice
the
Boys.
white
Oh my
suits, wasn't
word!
it?
The Liverpool awful
Yamani,
creamy
them white
suits.
creamy suits, yeah.
They were grim, weren't they?
Canstar, wasn't it? Scored the goal, wasn't it? I think.
Yes.
If I remember rightly.
Exactly, mate. I just that.
They were
that
just
was,
they were winning everything back then, weren't they? Mid-90s, they were almost unstoppable.
Yeah.
So I suppose that bit of football leads us on to one other little bit of football news from the year. Apparently there was a tournament.
It was.
Euro 96.
It was a classic. It was a
Held
classic.
in our very
We'd have-
own backyard.
I mean, I think it's been a while since we've got excited about talking football, but 1990 episode was the last one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pretty much just
yeah.
been like,
94, 92,
92
came
we
and
don't
went.
remember.
94
weren't in
we
it.
don't even talk about. But 96, one, it was in our own backyard.
Yeah.
Two, we were 18, so pubs were up for grabs
Yeah.
and stuff. It was just the perfect moment, wasn't it? Almost.
It was a good, it was a good
And we did pretty darn well.
Yeah. Quite surprisingly as well, because we wasn't doing well before that.
Yeah, because I think, was it before the tournament even started? I think Venable said he was quitting after the tournament anyway.
Right, yeah.
We were lined up for Hoddle to take over.
Yeah.
And I mean, he was a bit of a weird one anyway. So it was there was no great expectations, was there? But just being at home, it gave you a bit of a.
But you had all the thing
chance.
coming into the tournament as well. Their form wasn't that great, and also you had that thing with the dentist chair, didn't you?
Yeah.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So you had their trip to, was it Hong Kong or Thailand? I
Something
can't,
like that, yeah.
So-
But
That's where it all started.
But they all went out, didn't they? And they was all like,
absolutely,
I think Terry Venable was like, all right, lads, you can go out, let off some steam. But they obviously took it to the extreme.
They were all steamed
Yeah,
out, weren't they? They just went insane.
So I don't think Shearer as well he hadn't scored in like 12 games
No, he
leading up
hadn't,
to that tournament. He was on a roll.
Really?
Yeah, real
proper dry spell.
patch. Yeah.
He's like Venable's just
Venables stuck with him.
really, yeah.
He always mentions it now, Shearer, doesn't he? Say, I think Venables early on said, "Doesn't matter, you're my guy."
You're my guy.
And that gave him the confidence. He says that he just
Yeah.
said, "At least I knew where I was." Bang.
Yeah.
And obviously went on to be top scorer, didn't he? in the tournament?
Yeah, absolutely. The whole
5
tournament.
goals.
So a hazy June in England. And it didn't even start well, did it? So we drew
No, the first game was pretty-
1-all
yeah.
against Switzerland.
Yeah.
Went
Pretty
1 up
boring
and
game.
then
I think we conceded
a late
poor
penalty.
yeah.
So it's like, oh God, is it? Because as ever, whenever there's a tournament, the press builds the team up, and then we start with a bit of a.
Well, I don't think they even built them up on this time because of the whole fiasco with, because you know how they mountains out of molehills, they make the whole thing. But the big thing was with the whole dentist chair thing, because it was how disgraceful it was.
Yeah,
And
they've got
Gazza on
a lot
the
to
front,
prove and stuff. And
there was a big thing with Gazza, wasn't it, about his sort of like the way he was built up in '90, and now he was like seen as this sort of like person.
the senior team member, but
but
still he should be
still
leading.
a disgrace.
Yeah, he should be leading by example.
And he's going out with like Danny Baker and Chris Evans, and everything's been highlighted.
Five bellies.
But he's still
Jimmy
performing.
Five
Jimmy
bellies,
Five
yeah.
bellies.
But yeah, it was not shaping up to be a good tournament, and then we had the Scotland.
The Scotland game was the turning point, wasn't it?
That was the turn, wasn't it?
Well, I think the turning point, if I'm being honest, probably was David Seaman's save, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I think it was 1-0 up at that point, but obviously it could have been 1-1.
Yeah.
Seaman does the save, and then literally, I think it's like a minute later, we go up the end, and obviously Gazza scores that
his
wonder goal, doesn't it?
absolute beauty, doesn't he?
And that did seem to be the catalyst. That save, that piece of play,
It's
from the
5-10
save
minutes sort of thing,
leading
just
to that
turns
goal, and then
whole
obviously the goal
tournament
was just. So you had Euphoria at one end of the save of the penalty.
You go from a possible 1-1
It was only
to
like 2
2-0.
minutes. It was like a bit
really
of
quick.
play around the midfield area,
Yeah.
and then it just breaks away, and then obviously you got that wonderful goal he scores. And then,
The flick and the volley.
Yeah,
Just-
Colin
and then
Hendry,
the whole,
yeah, and then the
dentist chair celebration as well.
which was, yeah.
Which
Just
again,
people
it was like
going
2
crazy.
fingers to the
to the press.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like,
So-
then we start to believe.
Yeah, and then the Holland game was even better, wasn't it?
I mean, apparently we did all right in that one, didn't we?
That was, I remember watching that
Close.
game. It was awesome, wasn't it? Because they were a good team as well, Holland, at the
They
time.
were
They had some
very
great
good
players.
team.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
they did on paper as well. They still had Bergkamp, didn't they?
Yes.
Cliver,
Seedorf.
Seedorf,
Davids, yeah.
Van der Sar. I can't remember some of their. Oh, they had Jaap Stam, didn't they?
De Boer was still there,
Might have
wasn't
been
he? I
Silver. I
think.
don't know, Yapson maybe, could have been. Yeah, De Boer would have been there, yeah.
De Kock.
What's he called? The one that got the free kick against us in '94.
Koeman.
Koeman.
Yeah, he would have
Yeah, he's still been knocking around.
They still had some great players.
Great team.
Overmars? Would have
Yeah,
Overmars been playing?
he was normally sort of a bit of a bench player, wasn't he? But
Maybe, yeah.
I mean, they're an awesome team. You never write off the Dutch anyway, but to smash them and like to properly smash them by going
But
4
they
up
obviously
was
broke
just
Scottish
insane.
hearts, didn't they? Because if we'd have won 4-0, Scotland would have gone
Yeah,
through,
that
wouldn't
was wasn't that a thing that Graham mentioned in his email that said that
Absolutely, yeah. So we had one of our sort of viewers write in from a Scottish perspective and was like, up to the point of 4-0, because Scotland had won their game against against Switzerland.
Swiss.
So they were in with a chance of going through, provided it stayed at 4-0. So you've got the whole of Scotland, weirdly, behind England at this point and cheering them on. And then the 78th minute, and we go and let one in.
Clive, wouldn't it? I think.
So we still qualify, happy, and up north, it's all going to shit.
Yeah, it's not going. Yeah,
And
Is
the English names are mud once again.
yeah.
For 78 minutes, we were one united little country.
Yeah, of course.
And then,
Well, that would have been like the first time they wasn't it qualified to the next stage.
I think so.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah.
Could have been, yeah.
So, correct me if I'm wrong. But
Let's apologise on their behalf.
I think it is.
Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry, Scotland. We didn't do it. But yeah, it was a hell of a...
Sheringham and Shearer.
Exactly. They just didn't knock a fifth one in. It's their fault. Blame Teddy. Tottenham fan. Can't win. So yeah, so we've got the 2-0 win. And then we get the 4-1 win. So we're through to the quarters.
Yeah,
where we draw Spain.
Yeah, and that's a.
So you kind of touched on that already, Phil, when you came home.
Yeah, Spain should have won it. I remember the highlight. They were by far the better team.
So it was 0-0 in the end, wasn't it?
Yeah, but they were by far the better team.
This is the tournament where there's golden goals as well, isn't
Yeah,
there?
it's the
So
first
we get all the way through
goals,
it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, so you're always on a knife edge for 2 hours.
Oh,
it goes to
100%,
pens, and England and pens.
Yeah,
not happy chaps,
No.
really.
You've got still the hangover
because Seaman's given you that sort of sense of he's unbeatable, isn't he?
Yeah.
They just can't get past him. He looked huge in goal.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did look massive. That's why. Yeah, when later on when we talk about the penalties, you realise how good those penalties actually were.
Yeah, so we smash it. I think we score all of them, don't we?
Yeah, Stuart Pearce obviously has his redemption.
Yeah,
Yes,
redemption
absolutely.
moment, doesn't he? Yeah.
Was that the full?
Fucking come on!
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
Yeah, it was that one. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he doesn't say flip.
I doubt it. Yeah. For goodness sakes, come on, chaps.
Fiddlesticks.
Yeah.
Thank God for that.
But you're like, come on, this is happening, and all the while, you've got the Three Lions tune going off in pubs and clubs up and down the country.
Yeah, you got
the
Deal
Skinner
Skinner and Ian Brady, the serial killer.
Yeah.
It's a wonder they let him out to record that.
I know
isn't it?
exactly,
But for the video, they had to get Ian Brody in from the lightning
is that what
seats.
happened? Oh, okay, go on.
He wasn't allowed out. So you got that absolute monster of a tune
They made Brady
banging his
Brody.
way.
No, not Brody.
Brody.
Yeah.
They got the guy from Jaws in to record it instead.
You're going to need a bigger
Hey,
boat.
Brody.
Got Brody.
We've got loads of bloody people singing here.
But Brady
Hundreds
got
of them.
Brody and wanted children after that.
He did. Yeah, absolutely.
But he couldn't.
But he had it with the English cricketer Brody. That's right. It's going weird. So the soundtrack is pumping out. We're in pubs up and down the country, just giving it. And then we get to the semi. I can't talk about it.
Yeah,
It's
it was a strange game, wasn't
I
it?
remember turning up late to the snooker centre. I couldn't get in, and as I just walked in to get through the crowd, Shearer had just scored.
Because it was an early goal, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was about 6 minutes.
Yeah,
because
really.
I missed that goal as well. Because I remember we was going around Steve's house to watch it, me and Mike, and I was walking up the high road.
Yeah.
And the roads were like empty.
Yeah.
It was bizarre. And one of our mates
Christmas
drove.
morning.
One of our mates drove past, and he was like 1-0, and was like, oh fuck, like. Didn't know who to.
Yeah.
It was like 1-0.
Clarify what you mean.
But yes, and it was to be fair, it was an even game, wasn't it? Probably
Yeah,
one
yeah.
was
100%,
probably a fair,
It's a fair
score, wasn't
result.
it?
As much as you don't want to
An
say
extra
it,
time, I think we had a better time. Didn't Anderson hit the bar or the post?
Yeah, and then you had that
And then
one where Gaz
Gaz
had
won.
Yeah, that was
Where if he was
still-
5'10",
you still watch it
rather than
now
5'8".
as if like there's a bit of hope.
And you're like,
It's
he's going to make that. He's going
Yeah.
to make it. The ball across the goal, and you're like,
I heard a story, it was a documentary I was watching once on this tournament, and because it was the first golden goal tournament where obviously if you scored, you won. That was
Yeah,
it. No
regardless,
matter when you
it's
scored
game
in the
over,
extra
yeah.
time. The England team had a celebration set up, and if they were going to
right.
for the semi-final, if they scored, they were all just going to run off the pitch down the tunnel, Wembley Tunnel. So
Just
it used to be in
go.
the corner at the time.
Yeah,
didn't
that's
it?
right. Yeah,
Run down a tunnel and all jump in the bath.
I like the big bath.
The big bath. And they were like, how good would that have been? Like, everyone in the stadium would have been like celebrating, and then like, where the fuck
Where's
are they
the
gone?
players gone?
And
Yeah,
that was their plan to
Once it
celebrate.
all
And
dies
if Gaza
down.
would have got that, especially him scoring it as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Like,
That'd
imagine that,
have
and
been
then that
mental, yeah.
celebration of them all
They
just
just all
legging
just
it down.
leg it off.
and
That would've been
everyone-
great.
That would have been the best celebration ever. wouldn't it?
Yeah, big
fabulous,
time,
yeah.
man.
It obviously never happened, unfortunately.
Oh, and then Bierhoff.
So not only was he robbed of that, was robbed of the greatest goal celebration probably of ever.
Yeah, big time, man.
Just horrifying, wasn't it? And then Southgate,
He hit a,
And
yeah,
Cunt, wasn't it, who scored?
Mr. Kuntz,
massive cunts.
yeah, and then yeah,
Yeah, he's
poor old Southgate.
and then like weirdly enough, it's like a year later. Him and Stuart Pearce are doing a fucking
Doing a lovely
and,
pizza
and, Glenn-
Hut.
and Chris Waddle as well.
Yeah,
All three of
Pizza
them.
Hut commercials about
yeah,
fucking
they all.
Mr.
You
Yeah,
can't
exactly.
laugh at it.
Yeah, I don't think.
If you wrote him 50 grand out of it, I suppose.
Do you know,
you can.
did that get suggested to like poor old Saka and?
I would have thought
Boys.
they were busy dealing with a lot of racist lunatics. Weren't
Yeah,
they?
I know, yeah.
So yeah,
I know, that's...
How times have changed.
Yeah.
25 years ago, they get an advert out of it.
I know, yeah.
This time round, they get a load of abuse online.
Yeah, I know, it's sad, isn't it?
Wow, I imagine
But
that.
yeah, it was a great tournament, wasn't
Demand
it?
was
96.
high.
It was a great
It's a
tournament.
fabulous tournament, and just you always think what could have been. So disappointing.
It's good.
So close, but yeah, it was again just being at the bread and cheese and stuff, and the local pubs, and just
Yeah, that was our first tournament.
proper
I think, wasn't it,
tournament
where it
of
was,
getting it. But like beers being thrown, so
Yeah.
when the goals go through, and just
Yeah.
beer goes everywhere, and it's dripping off the ceiling.
But
you didn't care though.
Only
It was
good
just
for-
like you're
only good
covered
for-
in
yeah.
it.
So
You're
it's
just
like,
covered.
that's just money thrown away. But I don't
no, you
care.
don't care.
Hugging anyone, it just didn't fucking matter. It was
Mate,
like
$1.50 a pint or whatever the fuck it was back then.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah.
Holston Export on tap and just dripping off the ceiling. It's marvellous. You could refill your drink for
Yeah,
free.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah, just stand there and wait for it to run down the
That looks
rafters.
so dodgy.
Let's start recording this on camera.
Yeah.
on an audio program. It didn't sound too good, did it?
That's it. We'll have to
If
stop
it is
there. I
live
think
recording,
Phil's having
yeah.
some form of embolism. But yeah, an amazing tournament and one that I won't forget. I don't remember many things from back then. But yeah, little feelings and sights and sounds just come back every now and again.
Yeah, 100%, yeah.
Amazing. What a time to be alive.
New bread gloves from JML make anything into a sandwich. Coming in 2 sizes and available in 4 great flavours: classic white, unleavened, whole wheat or raisin and cinnamon. Now available in new sourdough. Bread gloves. Get your hands in some today.
So, gentlemen, let's talk more about telly from '96. I've got a couple of thought starters for you, and then we'll hand on. So, big thing in my world, TFI Friday began on
Yeah,
Channel 4.
100%, yeah.
Lovely show. It was one of those anarchic maniac things, wasn't it? Chris Evans at the helm.
Set you up for the night out, Friday night out.
I mean, it's bizarre when it was 6 o'clock. wasn't
Yeah, I know,
it?
6,
6 till
yeah,
7.
6,
It's
7,
like an
yeah.
early doors, but
Yeah,
they
yeah.
properly went for it. It was the whole bar within the
Yeah.
studio. It was just a
But it was
very
perfect time as
different
well. 'Cause
thing.
You just got in from work.
Yeah.
Like you settled down, you'd
Have
watch
your
that,
show,
and then
have your
you'd
dinner.
have your dinner and then go out, and it kind of set
You
you
were
up.
ready,
for
weren't you?
it.
Yeah. 'cause
Yeah.
they had- it was all about the music, wasn't it?
It was
Yeah,
good.
it's music, yeah.
Big Bad Bosh. But it was just
The interviews were kind of irrelevant.
Yeah,
to a certain extent,
there
'cause
was
they
a
just
bit-
wanted to see
They
if
had some
they'd
good ones,
be.
didn't they?
They wanted to see if they'd be like anarchic or the whole thing.
Yeah,
with like, Sean Ryder.
Sean
from-
Ryder, where he's swearing all the time, and
It was-
they deliberately
it
got
was,
him
it was a
on.
mixture of like
Yeah.
the word meets like Jules Holland
early
kind
doors
of
words,
thing.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
absolutely.
weird. It was a
No.
mixture of them two things.
But
Wasn't
it was a great program.
I don't know what he's saying about Chris Evans. I always used to think I should fucking hate this guy.
Yeah.
But for some reason,
He was annoyingly
just,
lovable.
Yeah, it was.
but
yeah.
was still an absolute dick.
Yeah, at the same time. Yeah, he was.
He-
Yeah,
he-
100%.
he
Yeah.
Rode a very fine line.
Yeah,
but he got away
did,
with
yeah.
it. Because
It
he was still introducing all these bands into your dining room, essentially.
Yeah,
wasn't
it was. And the
Your
music
lounge.
was good.
And the whole
Amazing
things with
stuff.
Wield, and he had. Was there a person before
Producer Will.
No, I think it was.
Will? Well, it
Will.
was always
Yeah,
Will,
yeah.
was it?
But the stuff they got people doing was just insanity.
Yeah,
wasn't
exactly.
it?
Yeah.
And
He
he was always on like a riverside, wasn't he? You could like
Yeah.
The Riverside Studios.
Riverside Studios,
And do you remember the theme tune?
well, how it went.
Yeah, no, you must.
So it's the
remember.
Riverboat.
The Riverside
It's the
is a
Riverboat.
massive. Yeah,
It's the Riverboat song,
Riverboat song from.
Oh yeah,
Ocean
yeah, yeah. Of
Coliseum,
course it was. Yeah.
which
Yeah, that was
helped to break them as well. So I
Yeah.
imagine we talk about them in the music bit. But yeah, it was just a perfect blend, wasn't it? Of like all of your favourite celebs at that point, who were basically just like the whole lad culture.
Yeah, 100%.
And
Yeah.
then it was that kind of a few Dolly Birds scattered in, bit of music.
Yeah, there was.
I
It
remember
was
Helen
just-
Mirren being on there once, though.
She's amazing.
Helen Mirren.
I remember
love her.
Helen Mirren being on
And they
there.
had the
yeah.
sexy girl. Was it the sexy girl thing, or they used to? There's like a model. They used to go up to turn down like a really ugly bloke. Do you remember?
Ugly bloke.
Ugly
Yeah.
bloke.
Yeah.
And then I can
Just
ugly
wanted to be
bloke,
physically
ugly bloke,
let
ugly
down
bloke,
by-
ugly bloke,
yeah.
and then there was the hot girl, wasn't it?
That's right.
He went up to the ugly bloke, asked him out for a date,
Yeah,
and he
he gets to turn her
he
down.
turns-
It's
yeah,
the
that's
whole
right, yeah.
reversal thing. But
Yeah,
yeah,
just silly
lots
things
of
like
silly
that.
stuff.
Yeah,
It was great. It's a great program, and
was.
he only lasted a few years.
Yeah, it wasn't on long.
Yeah,
to be
then-
fair, it was.
I mean, they got-
you
they
could
got
tell it was
warned
one
a
of them
few
programs
things.
that was.
Yeah.
It was, but
it
if it had
was-
carried on, I think it would have done all right. It's the fact of when they brought it back. It was again, it
Yeah,
just,
absolutely. They tried
the
to
era had already
revive.
passed. It was part of that era. What worked
It was
so
a
well
perfect
because
zeitgeist, wasn't it? Because
coming
it
with the
was-
90s
Yeah.
and that to try.
Britpop, this,
When
that,
you
the
try and
other.
recreate
There was Cool
stuff-
Britannia.
yeah.
Everything kind of worked.
Everything worked at the moment,
It was perfect
yeah.
storm, wasn't it?
Sometimes you just got to go with that moment. And
Was he still doing
Virgin.
Big Breakfast at the time?
No,
as
he
well?
left
No,
and he started doing Virgin Radio, wasn't he?
Oh, okay.
I
Did he
think
do
before.
Don't Forget Your Toothbrush, though, didn't
I
he?
think
Did that?
Truth-
Yeah, he did.
Toothbrush.
They did that before then, but then they did Virgin Radio. No, he did the Radio 1.
He did the breakfast show.
Breakfast show,
didn't he?
yeah. I think
Found
he
that
did
too much
that,
like hard work.
and then he started knocking about, didn't it?
Yeah, silly, because he was doing the same, Nights Out with Gazza and Five Bellies and all the rest of it. So he'd have the odd morning off.
Cop off with Billy. Was that later?
He married her, didn't he?
Yeah. When did that happen? Is that later on?
Oh, I suppose that might have been. So this would have...
She was just breaking out around him, wasn't she?
I was
So she would
gonna
have been
say,
young.
What, Billy Elliot?
Billy Corgan from the Smashing Pumpkins. It's an
That's a weird one, because
there
was the massive age gap, wasn't there?
Yeah,
You could tell it was...
When did Billy break out? It must have been around about this time.
We'd have to ask our social correspondent Paul Oakley, obsessed with
She was only 16 when she broke out, so
Yeah.
couldn't have been.
What, broke out in acne?
she was in a Clearasil advert.
No, she was
one of the 72 virgins.
She did, because we want to, didn't she? And what was the other
Like
one?
Girlfriend, or
Honey
whatever it
to
was.
the Bee in it, and
That was the album, wasn't it?
oh, is that okay? Sorry, is that sorry, I've ruined your choice in the top
believe
albums.
so, I
Like,
believe
He was trying to palm it off on Paul Oakley, but he was correcting you on everything you
I
said.
very much remember it from the back of his polo. There was
Sorry.
a CD case on the floor.
spoiler alert for later.
Yeah, the music has been ruined. All right, let's move on from young Christopher and his Fridays. What else do we remember about telly? Phil, I'm going to go to you.
Not much.
It was a bit of a
Pretty poor.
that's the end from
thanks
Phil.
for that. And from you, Mr.
No,
Dunn.
I have got a similar show which I think was of its time of the 90s, which I used to like.
Adam and Joe.
This Life.
This life you're going with.
I used to like this.
Yeah,
Life.
so that was one about the lawyers,
the lawyers,
in a house
and
share, wasn't it?
and it was.
But they were on it as well,
that
weren't they? That was Andrew Lincoln. Egg was the character, wasn't it?
Yeah, and who's the Jack? What's his name?
Yes, the one that was in
think of his
Coupling
name.
and various other things.
Yeah, but it was of its time, and it's a very good program.
Yes,
It was
absolutely.
quite dramatic, quite actually.
It was full on, wasn't it?
Yeah, controversial at the time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But it was a good program.
Great little thing.
Again, it was of its time. I don't think you could do it now, but
Yeah, I imagine they've tried that kind of
Yeah,
flat
yeah.
share thing in various guises, but it
did
absolutely
you like it
works.
though? I think there was only two series.
Two series, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, really good,
Good,
though. Very, very good. I mentioned the Adam and Joe show as well.
Yeah, I had
Channel
that,
4,
yeah.
Oh,
which
yeah,
I
yeah.
used to really love.
Yeah, that was like, what was the famous Star Wars one they did?
So they do it all out of Lego and
Yeah, it was like
different bits and bits, sort of voice it themselves, don't they?
It was,
But
some
just-
of them was brilliant, weren't they?
It was just literally it made you feel like you could do it though, because it was sort of
Yeah,
made in your own
yeah,
bedroom,
yeah,
or something,
yeah.
wasn't it?
So they moved to radio after that, didn't they?
Yeah.
So and I remember used to listening to their show.
Yeah,
I
that
think
was
it's
on
like
Virgin, wasn't they?
Yeah, yeah,
But
it's
again,
like-
Virgin was like the cool station for a while.
Yeah,
Ricky
once-
Gervais and
yeah.
over there, and that, wasn't they?
Yeah.
First?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Yeah.
really great show. So that kind of era also spawned Never Mind the Buzzcocks, which was
I think we've all got the same programs because there's not many.
there's not many, but it's all the same sort of things that appeal to us, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, again.
Mark Lamar, Jupiter's, and Sean Hughes, I imagine.
That was a good show.
Yeah,
I mean,
that
it's
was
still
great,
going
yeah.
now, isn't it? But
Any other things that we've all?
the only other one I've got, I
found
never
from the
really
same,
watched it, but it rang it's Silent Witness. That's the only one it started.
So, which is obviously still going to this
Yeah,
day.
I mean, I don't. It's never really appealed to me. But again, that's how kind of poor it was. I just kind of thought, oh, I know that one, and picked it.
I don't know if you was going to mention it. The
on,
only
Bill.
things I got, well, I'll run through them quick, like a list. We've probably touched on them throughout the years, but they were just going on. Well, it's Home Improvement, I don't think, with Tim Allen.
Oh, yeah.
The old, I used to love that with Will.
Yeah.
More power. Yeah.
Amazing. That was a whole Friday. Well, no, it was an early evening thing, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
so
Yeah, it's
early
like
evening Channel
5:30,
4.
5:30, yeah.
Again, just easy
That was a
watching. It was like, again, sort of like it's based on his stand-up, but it was just.
He plays pretty much the same character in every.
Oh yeah, pretty
sitcom
much.
he's
Yeah,
ever done,
Buzz
isn't he?
Lightyear. There's not test. Even
It's not a stretch.
in Galaxy Quest, he's still a Tim Allen.
Yes, yeah, you're
he's
right.
It's still a like different version. What I had on here, which is close to your heart, and I don't know if am I stealing your thunder by
Were you going to mention?
the one that.
Oh, hello, he's driving some stuff.
am I-
Mate. Go on, you go for it.
Someone say it.
No, I won't say it then because you're going to say it. But we'll go. The other like stuff I had on here was Ballykissed Angel.
Yes, I wrote that down as well.
Okay, and this is the weirdest thing I've got on here.
Oh, God, tell me if it's not the Demon Headmaster,
Is
I'm going to be livid.
Richard and Judy tonight with Richard and Judy.
Oh yeah, they tried another chat show, didn't they?
Yeah, and do you know who their first interview was?
It was who was it? Help me
O.J.
out.
Simpson.
It was OJ.
Yeah, and do you know how much his fee? How much do you reckon his fee was?
Now I know
to get him
this, so I'll
over.
let Phil.
So his fee. So bearing in mind his fee to come over from America.
So and how long a show is he on there for? Half an hour?
It's just it's
Whatever
the
it is,
first,
it's half an hour, an hour. I
worldwide
don't
interview
really know.
type thing.
A million?
£1.
What?
£1.
Really?
Yeah, they paid for his flights, they paid for his travel, but
They put him up in a nice
fucking
hotel
quid.
and paid him a quid. Because it was just his chance to give his side of the story, essentially.
But apparently they got grief because I think they did the proper British or nicey. Like,
Yeah, they were very gentle on
very
him.
respectful. Yeah, there wasn't
And
hit.
the show did not.
Yeah,
land where
I
it
can
needed to
imagine it
land.
being like really cringy
Died.
as well.
Properly
So that was their
died,
chance to like really escalate.
Move
it.
away from like the daytime telly.
Yeah,
and just be
and
like hard
give
hitting
him some-
journalists
yeah.
and
So
stuff.
then she
but-
decided a bit later to just pop a tit out and
And the brutal.
and he
and the
decided
Brits-
to nick some bottles of
man.
wine from Tesco's, didn't he? He was done for
Which
shoplifting.
leads me into the other thing. Last thing I was going to say is, unless Jim doesn't mention it, and
Go,
I'll
go,
come
go.
around again. Brit Awards was Jarvis getting his arse out.
Absolutely.
Michael Jackson, wasn't it?
Yeah, that wasn't just the Brit Awards. It's just him getting his arse out.
He did it every year.
Yeah. Fucking.
Oh, here we go
We
again.
got anyone else who's got a great arse?
Yeah,
It's like,
February rolled round again, is it? Okay, here I go.
Jarvis wins best arse again.
But yeah, it was a whole protest about Michael Jackson and
and
the Earth song.
Earth song, wasn't it? 'Cause
Dressed
he-
as Jesus almost.
just dressed
Very-
as Jesus, found it very self-indulgent, didn't he?
Surrounded
He was
by-
sticking his fingers up.
He was surrounded by kids as well, wasn't he? He's like playing this whole Messiah.
Maybe
it was
Jarvis knew.
creepy.
Maybe Jarvis knew.
He was
But
ahead
even
of-
when
ahead of
Jarvis
the
is
game.
doing it, I cringe when I watch it. It's
Yes.
like proper, it's so juvenile.
It's like do something by all means,
and he
but
like lifts
then he
up
sort
his
of
top. It's
he
like-
just waggles his.
It's almost
bum
like he
and
gets a
just-
bit uncomfortable and doesn't
It's
know
like he
what
gets
to-
up and goes, "Oh, I haven't really thought this through, but I've got
But
to
that
do
was
something."
it the year
pissed.
after with the whole Blur and Oasis, where Oasis win all the accolades.
I reckon it might be.
Yeah, because I wasn't too sure if it was the same year, but the Brits had a reputation, didn't he, for the live things happening? Because there was one years ago. When
That was the damn but no bacon thing from Chumbawamba as well.
Chumbawamba
chucking
and
bottles. Was
Sam
it-
Fox and Mick Fleetwood.
Oh, that was the very first one, wasn't it?
that
The
was
massive height difference.
There's
It was
always-
something.
yeah.
There's always been fuck ups in the Brits, and there, but
Yeah.
Was that the one where Madonna fell down? I don't know. It was much later when Madonna fell down the steps.
That was the Brits, yeah. With some treads on her cape, and so yeah, I think it was. A couple of other things that I've spotted in a little roundup. So the final episode of Spitting Image broadcast this year on RTV. Obviously, again, no ideas are good ideas anymore because they're bringing that back as well for.
Again,
BritBox.
it just that
I wonder if is it
that
of the
ran out of
time?
steam, didn't it? It was good when it was
When there were
first
so
on. When they had-
many politicians to kind of rip the
That
pee
was-
out. I
that
know
was-
they're
yeah.
not short now, but
No.
it's
It just doesn't
still
work. It
Feels
just doesn't work.
of
yeah.
an era,
It
doesn't
feels
it?
like it's trying
unfortunately?
too hard.
Yeah, there was the 4,000th episode of Coronation Street, but you know it still rolls on to this day. So Christ knows what episode they're up to now. Darren Day took over as host of You Bet from young Matthew Kelly. And sort of ran that show into the ground.
Yeah, pretty
but
much.
we've kind of mentioned that in previous pods, so we move on. And then I've got Only Fools and Horses
Oh, the Christmas special.
finished with a 3-part kind of
Yeah,
special
yeah.
over the
really?
The
Christmas
best
Yeah,
period.
that
ones as
one.
well. The Batman and Robin was
So
was
yeah,
classic one.
and then they finish with Time on Their Hands when they finally become
okay.
millionaires. So yeah, 20,
Yeah, I mean that was. I think
yeah,
that's,
that was
and that,
20
to that day, I still holds the
24
most
million
viewers
people
of a
watched it.
sitcom.
It's just insane.
It was
Yeah,
massive.
to be-
That was.
It's like half the population just
Yeah, I
tune
remember
in to see these.
that was like, I don't know
fictional
about you guys,
characters make it.
but Only Fools and Horses was like an event in
It
our
was
house.
Christmas as
Yeah.
well.
It was like
especially
every time it's
Christmas
like,
time,
it was like getting around everyone. It would almost be, Fools and Horses.
well,
gonna be
because
on.
you've got like
Quick,
the 4 main channels and then the odd.
Yeah,
But Christmas
Depending
Day
who
was
you
like,
are.
Yeah, cool.
Christmas
You had
Day was like, I mean, I was
Saturday.
never one for it, but it was like, when's the Queen's speech on and when's Only Fools and
Yeah.
Horses on? It was
Yeah.
like
3,
that.
8,
Yeah,
done.
pretty much.
Next, yeah,
It was,
absolutely.
It
You could
was
sort of
a big thing.
set your watch
That
right.
Batman one, I remember watching it around Claire's actually. I just remember absolutely like having tears
coming out of the fog and stuff.
coming
dressed
out.
as,
It was the funniest thing I
when
saw.
they
It
turn
was
up
so
to
fun.
the was it Awake?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
And
don't
they're all
know,
dressed
do
in
it,
black
but-
suits or something, and they burst through the door. It's just
The thing with
it's
Only
great.
Fools and Horses that I don't think any other British sort of sitcom has done is they got a hit about 8 decent series. I know they come back, didn't they? They did the specials, which I don't like to think of them really. But to hit about 8 decent series, that's unheard of, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you generally got your generally the most thing with British sitcoms, not so much American because they've got the writers, haven't they? But generally,
Yes. Well, yeah, they have enormous writers' rooms, don't they? There's hundreds of them.
Yeah,
Oh,
this,
yeah,
this was
exactly.
one man.
yeah, it's one man
It's
just
still
knocking
probably
it. Yeah.
one of the best written sitcoms.
But even like
ever.
the others who did they had writing teams, didn't they? There's almost 2 or whatever.
Yeah.
Like apart from probably
It's just-
Peep Show, maybe comes close, but who've done like that amount
body
of
of work.
work.
Yeah.
Is I think it's unheard of because like in America you've got why do you say that? Larry David and Jerry Seinfeld did most of Seinfeld, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's
I just think from a British perspective, John Sullivan was,
But,
a
yeah,
genius.
it's a massive-
He was
yeah,
a genius,
John-
wasn't he? And he did Just Good Friends as well. Before
Yeah,
that.
it
I
wasn't
mean, that
just
was
the one
brilliant
thing,
as
was
well.
it?
He
Yeah.
did, and he also sung the theme tunes, which I always thought in that Rodney. So
Yeah, it does sound like it. Does sound
Yeah,
like
I know.
him,
That's
doesn't
why
it?
in my head it's
Nicholas
Nicholas
Lyndhurst.
Lyndhurst singing it,
Yeah.
even though I know it's John
John
Sullivan.
Sullivan.
Does sound
Yeah.
like him.
Again, he's
So-
he's
Yeah.
But that was brilliant. Absolutely. Well, I still find
It was a great way to go out, those three little sort of self-contained
Yeah, it's a
ones.
shame they did bring the other ones back. There's still funny moments in them, but they're not as good.
Yeah. It'd have been nice
It was
to
a
leave
shame
it.
they did bring them back, but still,
Yeah.
it's still watching this on gold. I still watch
Yeah,
it.
just-
You still
it
know
was-
when you're going to laugh, and you still
Yeah,
do laugh
absolutely.
every time. It's,
Yeah, it is.
And the
yeah, I
stage
still
show
watch
is the
it.
same thing.
But for me, it's that and Toy Story. I don't know. It ended perfectly.
yeah, should have left it.
And they should have left it. They brought it back, and it just took the shine off it. Like the fact that they made their goal, they were millionaires. That was
That's it,
That's
isn't
the
it?
end
Yeah.
of it.
Right off
To
into the
bring
sunset kind of thing, isn't it? It's
and
like-
now it's kind of like.
Yeah.
And now
Oh,
even
they
when
just-
David
just
Jason
drew it out
appears
a little
on
bit.
like Facebook or whatever,
Yeah.
doing Del Boy things at his
Yeah, it's
age,
like-
I'm just a bit, oh mate,
It's nice to leave
You're
it.
a legend, on
Especially when you've got it in, like, you've grown up with it and stuff, so it's like seared into your memory, isn't it?
Yeah,
You just don't want
exactly.
to you don't want to remember them as old people. You want
No.
to remember as
yeah, exactly. You would
That's
have.
It'll be a
as they
sad
were.
day when he passes, though, won't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, 100%, yeah.
It will be a.
Yeah.
It will be a. Yeah, sad day, won't it? It was great.
Absolutely.
Yeah, still one of the best programs ever. Right?
Welcome to I Smell Gas, a show where we peel everything back and equip our long COVID suffering contestants with just themselves and a Zippo. The rules are simple. With just a Zippo in hand, a long COVID suffering contestant is asked to put their sense of smell to the ultimate test and are escorted into a derelict building, with just 90 seconds to determine whether they smell gas or not. If they do, they shout the three simple words, I smell gas! If they don't, they flick the Zippo. Contestants can win bigger and bigger prizes, the ultimate being a property worth £1 million. Hosted by everyone's favourite Geordie couple, Ant and Deck.
Why, what are you thinking, Paul?
I think I smell gas.
Why, are you sure, Paul? Say the words if you think you do.
Yeah. I smell gas.
Well done, Paul. You've won. Why,
I smell gas.
Why, you've just 15 seconds left. Do you smell gas?
I don't think I do. I'm gonna flick the Zippo.
Are you gonna flick the Zippo? Are you sure? You do know what could happen if you got this wrong.
Yeah, I'm gonna flick it.
I smell gas. Coming soon this spring. With a bang. So it's moving on to films now, gentlemen. I'm going to need your top 3 films from the year. I'm going to need some honourable mentions of those that didn't quite make the hot list. Let's start with our man of films. It's Philip Reynolds.
So, top 3 I've got.
Go on.
My third, I had between a number of films. This was quite tough.
So what ones didn't make it then?
Okay, so I have Swingers.
Oh,
Yes, you do.
Great film.
Yeah, it
isn't
is a quality film. I forgot. Wow, that is a good film. Vince Vaughn
and
John Favreau.
Favreau.
John Favreau.
You know, like, this is the money. Like, this is the money. They say that when they go to Vegas for the night. Have you ever seen it? Must have seen it. Oh, you have to watch it.
It is a cool
great film.
It's just a
Blank,
cool.
blank looks again, I'm afraid.
It's a cool film, but it's. Sort of,
Yeah, it's
I
like-
can imagine it being dated.
I don't know if it was both their first films, but it's like a real indie film.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah,
So
Swingers. I really like that.
Favreau's obviously massive in like the Star Wars kind of thing now, isn't he?
No,
He's
the
in
Iron
Marvel.
Man, doesn't he?
Marvel. He's in the
he
latest
does all
Spider-Man.
not the Boba Fett ones, the Mandalorian. He's,
Oh, yeah,
he's
yeah,
across
cool.
all
Yeah,
that
yeah,
stuff.
that's Mandalorian,
Yeah.
So was he anything to do with the making of the
No,
film?
no,
Was
he's
he
an actor.
just
He's an actor.
at this point?
Him
Okay.
and Vince Vaughn.
Right, okay.
But yeah, very good film. Very funny.
I can imagine Vince Vaughn is basically Vince Vaughn in all
Yeah,
films.
Yeah,
right,
that's
okay.
all he is. Yeah.
But it's a nice shtick if you've got it.
But he's good. Yeah,
Okay.
so that was close. That
was
just
close,
missed out.
right.
Kingpin.
Right,
Oh, yeah.
Thoroughly.
Great
So,
film, yeah.
so that features in my list. So
Yeah, it was close. I
won't
do.
go.
That is, I do
Again.
prefer that to Dumb and Dumber, definitely.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So-
probably
from
there's
the-
something about me. It's
Yeah.
probably my favourite of
of the
theirs.
Farrellers.
I thought that would. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
do like that. It's a very good film. And then just missed out to Primal Fear.
Oh right, yeah.
What? Because Primal Fear, Richard Gere sticks a hamster in his rear.
Yes, exactly. There was the only reason.
a rumour.
I don't know if have you looked at my notes because that is exactly what I wrote.
Chris Akabusi.
So yeah, it's a great film. I mean, the performance by Edward Norton is brilliant. It's his debut, actually, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's the hamsters as well.
But I think what does let it
He
down
wasn't back for the sequel.
is Richard Gere.
Really?
It's just something about Richard Gere. I can't take him seriously.
Oh, I thought you meant I want to run up his
I
ass.
think it's because he's got a hamster hanging out his bosom.
But he's a very good film, very good twist. And a great.
Richard, he plays that cold, kind of wanker type
Yeah.
role well, doesn't he?
It's
Sorry, Richard.
I think that's just.
Sorry, Mrs.
It would
Gere.
have made my top 3, I think, but there's something I don't know. Just fell short.
Bit icky. So what does make your top 3 then?
So a little bit of a surprise here.
Oh, it is Dunton checks in.
So number 3, and this
a
is
film.
a film.
Oh.
If you'd have asked me in '96,
A monkey James Bond.
I would have ran a mile from.
Oh, okay. I know. Yeah.
It's only because I've watched
know.
it recently.
So this isn't live in '96.
No, this is no. So no,
Favourite film of
I would have.
96,
If you'd have said watch this film, I'd be like, no,
Absolutely not.
Rom-com.
Oh, I know.
Not going for it. I hate it. But actually, when you watch it now, it's
Can I
not.
guess?
It's not a. Yeah, go on.
Is it Terry Maguire?
No, it's the sequel.
Oh,
Jerry.
Jerry Maguire. Damn. That's
Yes, it is Jerry Maguire. I actually really like this film.
Yeah, it's great.
Watched it quite recently, and it's really good.
Can you?
I'm not a great fan of Tom Cruise, and like I say, and I
No,
don't-
no,
It's
yeah,
not
so-
really. It is a rom-com, but it's not. It's not
Well, even,
your standard.
Yeah, there's more
rom-com.
to
Yeah,
it
it's
than that,
a
isn't there?
really good film.
Can you give me the 2 famous quotes from that film?
Oh, yeah, Show Me the Money,
Yeah.
obviously.
And what's the other one?
Show me.
You
me
had me at hello.
You bummy.
You did have him at hello.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a good. I like to say, I wouldn't have, in '96. I would have run a mile from this film.
Yeah.
Well,
It's a very good film.
Fair play. So was that?
That was number 3.
That was number 3. We only got to 3. I was like, was that all of them? No. So what's your 2 then?
Number 2. This was a close. I've been umming and ahhing 2 and 1, but I'm sticking with it. Train Spotting. Obviously, massive over here.
Yeah.
Kind of took everyone by storm, didn't it? So again, it could have easily made number 1. It's probably one of your guys' number 1s, I'd imagine.
best Scottish film of all time?
Well, I mean, I don't know if you know of Braveheart, but it's.
No, because we had this conversation.
Yeah, I don't know.
So you say that
still
when
like-
I say that, you think you'd automatically say yes, but because of the was it 2 episodes ago?
Shallow Grave.
There was
Yeah,
Shallow
see,
Grave,
I do
yeah.
like. I think I do like Shallow Grave more.
See, it sounds like I'm knocking the people of Scotland, but they're 2 really
They are
decent
2
films,
great films,
so-
aren't they?
Yeah, no,
That's
I
what I
do
mean.
like-
It's like it's quite a compliment actually.
I do like Shallow Grave.
That's
I
a
really
unique
do,
film,
but
and it
I
catches.
don't know.
the
Train
ear.
Spotting is great as well. It's a tough one.
I think mate. I'm always transporting over Shallow Grave.
Yeah, I like.
personally.
I don't know. It'd probably change on a daily basis.
It's more the soundtrack. It's the indie feel. It
Yeah.
catches the vibe.
And I
It's-
remember watching it at the cinema, and it was like one of them films where you're like, I'm
Blimey.
watching something like
No,
this
yeah.
is.
Yeah.
You just hit you, didn't it? It was
Yeah,
like bang,
100%,
bang. It was like
yeah.
seeing that band for the first
also-
time. You're like, wow, what is
We
this?
also saw the effects of drugs as well. Like,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was fun. It was comedy. It was gritty, but
And it was very
also
fast,
real.
very
It was real,
fast paced. But it was like bang,
Fast-paced,
bang.
real,
Like
yeah.
music was like hard hitting when it's like
Yeah.
it's just went.
But
didn't it? It's
some
just
of the bits in there were dark as well.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Oh yeah,
with the
there's stuff that made
baby
you
and
cry. There's stuff that made you
Yeah.
laugh, and all the rest of it. But yeah, I mean, Begbie was frightening as hell. It was
Yeah,
just, there was-
100%. Yeah.
I think they're doing a spin-off of that, aren't they, soon? I don't know if it's a series or a film.
Is it really?
But they,
Begbie specific.
yeah, about Big yeah. I don't know, but
Cheeky.
yeah, I've read
Go
about
on,
that. or
Frank.
something.
Or
But yeah, so that was number 2, and my number
this,
1.
This number 1 must be pretty special.
Well, I think it is. It's Fargo.
See, I had you down as that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that film. Yeah, it's Coen Brothers. I think it's brilliant. It's a
Yeah,
bit
it's-
off the wall. It's a bit bizarre.
it's a
but
quality film, yeah.
very good film.
Yeah.
It's Steve Buscemi and
And it's not even their
Francis.
best film. And that's how,
No,
that just
yeah,
goes
no.
to show how good they are.
Yeah, they've got a body of work,
Yeah,
haven't they?
yeah.
They've done all right.
But yeah, very good. I was umming and ahhing in between the 2, but I
suppose it depends on
I
your
kind
mood,
of
but
thought-
they're different films, aren't they?
Yeah,
Let's be
very
honest,
different.
so-
And I probably swayed it thinking one of you probably got them for number one, so I probably went for Fargo number one. But yeah, I do. Fargo is a very good film.
Has that got Frances
Yeah. So
Dormand in it as well?
It's like set in
'Cause
Minnesota.
She's done the TV adaptation as well, hasn't she?
No, she wasn't in them.
Was she not in that? Why am I thinking it is?
Don't know, but they're very good as well. The
Lunacy.
TV shows are brilliant as well. I love them.
Oh,
but yeah, so
Joel McDermott.
That's what it might have been.
from
the Masked Singer
The Masked-
and
yeah,
But it's
the
just
same suits in Fargo.
like if you know the Coen Brothers, it's typical them. It's
Yeah.
just that bizarre characters set in Minnesota. It's all snowy. She's
Banana
heavily
something.
pregnant.
That's right.
There's like this crime going on where like the car salesman's trying to set people up, and then it all goes horribly wrong. It's just typical.
I
Coen
love the way
Brothers.
they talk as well in that.
Yeah, the dialogue is brilliant, isn't it? It's just they sound so simple. They're like simple folk, aren't they? It's
Yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah, just
you
matter
know,
of fact
they're lovable,
speech, isn't it?
simple folk. It's great, but yeah, very good film. So yeah, they're my three. So Jerry Maguire, Train Spotting, and Fargo.
That's not bad, is it? As a three,
Nah,
not bad,
Okay.
young Phil. Not bad.
see.
Del, let's see what you've got in your locker then.
Phil's kind of he's made up my mind a bit for one of them. We talked about both Jerry Maguire and Train Spotting.
Yeah.
But I'm going to take. I'm in over these two films. So I'm going to actually take Train Spotting out.
This is
Much as
live updates.
As
This
much
is
as I love it,
like Soccer Saturday in reels.
To be fair, any of the top three. The 4, 3, and 2 could have been easily in it.
Fours. He's totally revolutionised the concepts of the
I
format.
could not. Basically, my fourth one could have matched the second. or
joint
third. I
third.
just-
You got
yeah.
a joint third.
Joint third, even joint second. To be fair, no, actually,
So
no.
are we saying
no,
four?
this is- no,
Are we
this-
saying 4, 3, and 2 are on a level par?
Almost
Goal difference.
Almost for me. No, actually, no. Jerry Maguire is number 2, and then number 3 and number 4 are on level par. So it's a level for 3. But because you mentioned Train Spotting, I'm going to talk about Kingpin.
Perfect.
So I'm going to, for me, again, it's just fucking hilarious, this film. I remember just watching it and I think I saw the commercial for it, and I just saw like a rubber hand in a bowling ball.
Oh, just rolling down
down. And I just thought, what
the
the
bowling
fuck
lane.
is this
Yeah.
film? I've got to see it. And again, it was Bill Murray. Like, I hadn't seen Bill Murray in
He's
a
a
good
proper
film.
creep in that as well, isn't he?
Yeah, he's proper Ernie McCracken. Yeah, he is like
With the
proper
whole-
He's like touching up girls.
girls in there. He's
The,
always hitting
the
on-
sweaty comb over.
He's had a bit of
Oh, it's
everyone.
Really
It was
grim. isn't it?
like the girl that goes around with him. Yeah, because you got him. He's like the promising bowler,
Yeah.
who's like almost like the Muhammad Ali to bowler. That's what they
Is
say.
this
isn't
Woody
it?
Harrelson?
Yeah, Woody Harrelson
Yeah.
is basically Muhammad Munson, isn't it?
Yeah.
Roy Munson.
Roy Munson, because they use that. You've Munsoned
You've
up
Munsoned
everything.
it up,
and
yeah.
they're-
Had the world in his hand and then blew it.
yeah, pretty much. And he was saying you are to bowling what Muhammad Ali was to boxing and all this sort of shit. And he obviously fucks up, doesn't he, when they do the hustle with Bill Murray. And then Bill Murray walks out, doesn't he?
Leaves
and then
him
it just
to it.
sets up and then
Gets his
puts
hand
in the
fed
bowling.
into the bowling, yeah,
When it brings back
mechanism.
up the bowling ball. So yeah. So again, that starts off, and it's just the fact of he then just turns into a massive alcoholic, doesn't he?
Yeah, with the landlady.
Because they are
It's always
grifters,
about
aren't they?
Yeah,
That's how it starts.
100%. Yeah.
Because I always love that scene at the beginning when Woody Harrelson's he pretends to be getting mugged by someone on the street, and the landlady's asking for money. She sees it and she fights off the person.
Yeah.
And he's obviously set it up with this bloke, and he's in the he's in the flat with him. Paying him, going,
Yeah.
what happened? And then
She
she
knocks
walks
on
in
the
again.
door.
He's making him a coffee. He actually throws,
Yeah.
he actually throws like boiling hot coffee. In
He
his
goes,
hand.
That's right.
He goes,
Get
what,
out
you're a
of here.
psycho?
You son of a bitch, get out.
And then he has to repay the favours. doesn't he?
Yeah,
Go,
yeah.
oh, that's
and she's forever in the mirror like
he's
he's being sick in the toilet.
Oh, big so. Yeah, no, I love that. And then Ernie McCracken, old Bill Murray's character, just goes on to like the heights.
Dominate,
He
yeah,
takes
he's the
over.
world number one type
And then
thing,
he's
yeah.
kind of a bitter alcoholic who's down on his luck, but he's still
I could
like
have beaten
trying
him.
to
I
sort
could
of
have,
be
yeah,
around
I was
it.
better than him.
Yeah, but he's but I love the fact of it's an underdog story still, built in like a classic comedy. The fact that he befriends an Amish guy. Who happens to be like decent at bowling, who Randy Quaid is, considering all the other roles Randy Quaid's in. He then plays this straight lace. When you see him in like sort of all like the Griswolds and the National Lampoons and all the other different roles he's been, you see him do that, and he does play it well, doesn't he?
Totally.
So yes, that is my number 2. No, number 1 is.
Hang on. Number 2 was Jerry Maguire, wasn't it?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, sorry.
So that was
number 3, wasn't it?
Number 3, yeah. Number 2, Jerry Maguire. Yeah, it's a great feel-good film, very uplifting. I just love the whole concept of it. But my number 1 is just for the time. I think Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead, and that's my number. I just found this a really great story. It's similar to Carlito's Way in the fact of. It's a guy kind of getting sucked in, but he's kind of offered that one last job. But it's the fact of he's doing it with his friends. And he puts his trust in his friends, but there's one friend that he backs that friend. And the rest of them are not sure about doing it with him because they know he's a loose cannon. And it's
Andy Garcia, wasn't it?
Yeah, Andy Garcia, and it's
a bit more comical though, wasn't it, than Carlito's Way. It was a bit more. I always remember it trying. I don't know. I just always remember it trying to be a Pulp Fiction kind of.
No, I don't know. It wasn't that.
Jumping on that bandwagon. I just always remember it being a bit like that.
No, I never found it like that. I never saw the connection, but it's. I don't know. For me, I just love that. I love the cast. You got Christopher Lloyd. You got Andy Garcia. You got Steve Buscemi as the hitman, Mr. Shush. He also plays Mr. Shush. He plays the biggest geek. Like you see him, and like he goes in, and I can't remember the name of Andy Garcia's black friend. He gets guarded by all these sort of like gangster friends, and Mr. Shush turns up, this white geeky sort of like hitman. And he basically says to this gangster like, "Where is he?" And they all like look at this white geeky gangster. He's like, "Yeah, whatever." And he just sort of goes through it. But it's the fact of they gives him 2. I think it's 2 weeks to get out of Denver.
Right.
And they choose. Some of them choose to stay. Some of them choose to go off. But this hitman just finds them, and it's the fact of Christopher Walken as well. He's sort of like he's in it. He's the main boss who puts the hit out on them, and he says he's going to get them with this thing called buckwits, which is a shot up the arse.
Love this stuff.
It's a slow way to die. But there's a thing. But there's a bit of a for me, and it's a bit of a twist there where Andy Garcia does something to the hitman's son, and that's all I say. Just in case ever anyone wants to watch it.
Do you know what? I'm going to watch it. I have seen it, but it was about 25 years ago. Yeah, so I'm going to watch it again.
It's a quite good, and it's just about
a refresh. He's writing it down. He's writing it down.
To me, it's a friendship film. It's not about gangsters and that, but it's just that obviously is part of the story wrapped up. But the main meaning for me is the friendship and like the choices you make. That can
make or break those relationships.
I'm going to watch it.
Nice, good choices, Rich. So just to confirm, we've got. What was your 3, 2, 1?
I don't think he knows what
Jerry Maguire, Kingpin, and then
3, Jerry Maguire second, and
Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead.
Number 1.
Perfect.
Come on in, Jimmy.
Okay, so we've kind of touched on most of the films. So
all of them.
In fact, all of them. So I was torn with a couple of them because Fargo I have seen to a certain extent, and from the bits I can remember, I watched it a very, very, very long time ago, probably on video, to the point of how long ago it was. And I do remember liking that film. Things like 12 Monkeys I've watched but can't quite recall. So I left all of those out and I went for something that I can remember and I've watched recently as my number 3. It was Matilda, which got released just at Christmas in 1996. So it was just made it into the year. But Danny DeVito and Rhea Perlman as the parents from hell. Anything that was Roald Dahl, I loved anyway.
And Pam Ferris as Mrs. Trunchbull.
Pam Ferris as Trunchbull is just mad when it's like, oh my God, it's this woman, the one that's in like the Larkins and stuff. He's like, what? Hang on a second.
Wasn't she She-Devil as well? Was she She-Devil?
Do you
remember the TV programme She-Devil? I think I'm going back to the 80s, actually. It might be early 90s.
Back, yeah. It's not something that came across my radar.
No,
but yeah, it's a Fabulous little cast.
I'm going to check that. I'm going to
Check it,
IMDb that.
Oh my god, he is.
a bit
This is
with,
live, but it's just lovely. It's like when they super glue his hat on and
Yes,
just
bit with the
silly
chocolate
stuff.
cake as well.
And the Bruce Bogtrotter, the chocolate cake. It just there's lots of little bits that it's like I'd read the book when I was younger, and now this is kind of it matched what my imagination did me. My number 2 was Kingpin, which we've already touched on, and it is an amazing film. And number 1 was Trainspotting. So we've pretty much.
So why is Trainspotting your number 1, Jim?
It was from the moment that you saw the trailer, and it was that kind of banging soundtrack, and there was that whole monologue of choose this, choose that.
Yeah, choose
the
that.
fact that they were only slightly older than us. It was all about kind of finding your way in that mixed up adult world, and just whatever you need to do to kind of get through it.
Yeah.
It was all of that. It was just the cast was great. I mean, you could recognise, albeit not obvious characters, but certain traits in each of the main 4 characters in your mates as well. So you've got like the one that would defend someone to the hilt, albeit he was a violent psychopath in the film. You had someone that was totally sort of the Begbie character. You had the sick boy kind of thing. It was just like totally in it for themselves, didn't kind of give a monkeys about anyone else. And then Spud, the lovable donut, who would sort of back you to the hilt, but would get run over by the friendship group and stuff. So there was lots of those little bits like it resonated.
I still love the ending on that. Yeah, for me, it's the look between Renton. And
when he knows he's going to fuck him over right at the end, and he's totally leaving, and
but he wakes up and he's he's kind of like
he's like, I'm just gonna.
I love that, and he gives him the choice, doesn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he could just totally change his life and come with him, but he stays because he's just too loyal.
Stays with tea and biscuits.
Just stays with tea and biscuits, and then just the certain bits of it were like when he goes into the job interview and he's absolutely wired. Just chatting
that's
nonsense.
hilarious.
Or when he wakes up in the morning and he's soiled the beds and he's desperate not to give the soiled sheets to.
And again, the soundtrack
was superb, wasn't it? It was that because. It was Underworld, wasn't it? And Born Slippy, Underworld,
and you had like perfect, Lou Reed, Perfect World,
Lust for Life. It was just so many.
It was kind of the British Pulp Fiction in a way, wasn't it? If you're
absolutely
kind of going to go. I mean, different films, but
totally,
in terms of
music was such a big part of
again.
that film.
Pulp Fiction changed cinema. I would say Trainspotting changed British cinema.
Yeah, absolutely. It can be this kind of
that's where you
gritty,
like
cool.
the knock on. I think wasn't it funded by Film 4?
I think it was.
It was actually. Yeah,
I think
the
that's
Film Council and Film 4. Yeah,
so I think that all kicked in, didn't it?
But yeah, an amazing film. So I mean, were there honourable mentions that? I mean, we talked about.
I wouldn't say honourable mentions, but other
bigger films. Of the year.
Other films that I think were talking points of the year.
Yeah,
probably the biggest, Crash. We're not talking the 2006 one. I think no, we're talking the weird
one
where they get obsessed with scars and things like that. And
see, I don't know.
Very bizarre film.
Very bizarre. I hated
Cronenberg, wasn't it? Yeah.
I hated.
He had a type.
I hated Crash. I hate Crash. I love Crash 2. And that was amazing. With John Fashional and Meryl Streep.
Oh, Fash the Bash the Crash.
Yeah. And with the opening quote from the Mail on Sunday, Necro at its best. That's 4 stars.
4 stars indeed.
So, but Crash, obviously Crash number 1, that's disgusting.
Very strange.
Oh, my
terrible.
God. Makes me gag, but Crash 2, that's
Crash 2
a piece of art.
Formidable.
Biggest film of the year, Independence Day.
Independence Day, yeah.
Biggest letdown.
Awful.
I mean it's rubbish, but it was huge at the time.
As soon as Will Smith's punching an alien.
I remember going to cinema to watch it though.
Of course,
it was awful.
you loved the trip.
Was you cheering on Will?
My favourite cinema viewing this year.
Nutty
you
Professor.
will love this story, and it involves my favourite. Demi Moore again, striptease.
Oh, okay. You didn't have a wank in the cinema.
Oh, no, but
in the popcorn box.
Probably just as bad.
What, really?
You had a poo in it.
Just as bad. Like, so this film's coming out. I was obsessed with Demi Moore. You're seeing her like stripping off, being a stripper and that. It was like perfect.
Yeah.
What'd you do? You take your girlfriend who you've been with for about 5 months to go to the cinema to watch striptease.
Whose choice was the film, Phil?
She loved it. Still her favourite today. She still asked to put it on.
It's like dragged you in the toilet.
Come on, we got. I mean, you couldn't even like suggest it and then be surprised at what it is. The fucking film's called Striptease.
Yeah.
What did you actually say? Let's see Striptease.
Yeah, I must have done it.
I mean, that's a bold move, isn't it?
Well, and the fact that Claire just went, okay.
I don't know, but yeah,
He looks like a keeper, Mum.
Maybe she went, oh, it can't be that obvious about strip. Oh, it is. Oh, okay.
But yeah, so
Wow.
I mean, it's a rubbish film, but still.
Did you watch that in a double bill with a barbed wire?
Just going,
Should we stay on for
hang on.
this one, love?
Claire's mum's like, hang on a minute. What cars do you drive?
Oh, it's a shitty brown Metro.
all right.
You're in. That's fine.
So yeah, so that was a good cinema viewing. From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great.
That's a great film, isn't it? Yeah, it's just fucking weird, isn't
It's
it?
just different.
It's
as
just
well.
like
Yeah.
it's two films
Yeah.
in one, isn't it? It's just like this, like kind of getaway
Yeah.
film, isn't it? And then it just turns into a complete
Weird
vampire
vampire
film.
fest.
I
Yeah.
was trying to think of the Mexican gangster, Danny
Trujo, isn't it?
Trujo.
Yeah.
Mate, did you know he used to
He
be
was a proper
inmate?
prisoner, wasn't he? Yeah, absolutely.
He'd come out and he
Just started
changed his
acting, yeah.
life around. Yeah, fair
Good
play
on
to
him.
Scream.
No.
What?
But again,
Yeah, again, when it come
a great
out,
film. It was
when I
good.
first watched it, it was
it was different, wasn't it? It was
good,
like
yeah.
again, it blew your mind, didn't it?
Oh, the fact that the main character, or the only character you kind of know, the actress, you know, dies
died
within
straight away,
Yeah.
and then it
first
became
couple
a,
of minutes. So, oh,
everyone done
it's
it.
that. Right,
everyone
okay.
done it after that, didn't it?
Yeah.
Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible, indeed. Again,
First-
we've all mentioned we're not
first time
massive
Cruise,
fans of
yeah.
Cruise, but
No.
First
It was
time he got
big enough.
tucked up
yeah,
by
absolutely.
another man.
Has anyone got anyone others?
There was Happy Gilmore
Yep.
Oh, okay.
came out this
Oh,
year.
I love Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, that was
Well,
that was, sort of,
well,
that was
yeah.
flirting below kind of that kind of kingpin-y.
Yeah, I like. Yeah, it's
Phil,
good.
but
With
yeah.
Carl Weathers is in it as well. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. There was Cable Guy as well, which is another one of Carey's.
Do you know how much he got paid for that?
Something because that would have been after the success of the
Of Dumb and Dumber and
Who, Jim
Last,
Carrey, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was Ben
Ace
Stiller who directed
Ventura
it,
and all
didn't
the
he?
rest
Did
of
Ben
it.
Stiller
Yeah, it was,
direct it?
Go on, how much did he get paid
He
for
was
this?
back then. Now it's this not much, but 20 million he got.
Oh, I mean, I'd do it for less, but
Yeah.
sure. 20 million
It's
quid
not.
for
You
a
watch
film.
it. It's him and Matthew
mad.
Broderick.
Yeah, it's
isn't
not a very
it?
good
Yeah,
film.
no.
is it?
No, absolutely.
It's annoying. Like when Jim Carrey's good, I like him, but he can be very annoying.
It's grating.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I had a couple of other ones. The Twister, I believe, came out this year, and The Rock as
Yeah.
well.
The Rock.
Daylight.
The
Or is
Rock.
Sean Connery and Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
very same.
I love that just for nostalgia and just for pure cheese.
It's of a moment, isn't it? So it's like, yeah.
And
proper.
Daylight as well. Stallone just keeping it up, keeping it going.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep them coming, keep them coming, keep them coming.
Good film actually. I like Daylight.
Yeah, I'll take your word on it. The Birdcage was out with Mr. Williams.
Yeah.
Lord.
Robin, rather
I was
than
going to
Robbie.
say a line from The Rock that makes me die every time.
Go on.
Is there's an
But
American.
you've got to sell it. Really sell it.
Well, okay, I'll try my best, but I
We
think
can have
it's
some
better if
dramatic
it's told.
music behind this. This could
Not
be good.
really, not really. I just think there's basically in it. There's this American guy who
Yeah.
says to Sean Connery, he's going, "Fuck off, you English prick."
The most famous Scotsman in the world.
He's going, "You kill." I sound like you killed my Irish daddy. So it's an American guy with a pure American accent.
Saying to a
So
Scottish
Scottish
one,
guy, "Fuck off, you
You
English prick."
You killed my
You killed
Irish daddy.
So something like that. It was the most bizarre.
It's
thing,
nice
yeah.
to literally touch
But
on all the
in Hollywood, anything's
all
like
the
you-
nations.
Yeah, if
Yeah,
it's
maybe
done
you
it
got
wrong-
maybe you got confused of seeing Sean Connery in Highlander.
Oh, really,
and just
yeah?
getting really confused of seeing
be.
a French bloke play a Scotsman, but then seeing a Scotsman play a Spanish person. And maybe he just got really fucking
But they've all got
confused.
to-
Well, I love that about Connery. He didn't even try to.
Didn't
put on
even
an accent.
try, did he?
He's
No.
like he's pretty much Costa. Yeah,
Who was in Robin Hood. He was Costa's dad.
Oh, he was, of course, wasn't he?
he was,
Yeah.
of course he was. Yeah,
Robin of
We
Locksley.
figured it out.
was he Costa's dad? I thought he was Brian Blessed.
Blind.
Blind Blessed.
No, he was. He wasn't.
No,
He
he
wasn't.
was
His
Maid
dad.
Marian's.
He was King Richard. When
Yeah.
he
Yeah,
that's it,
comes
yeah.
back to
From
Yeah,
the
Brian Blessed
from the
is,
Crusades, isn't it?
yeah.
Gordon's.
Robin of Locksley, you dirty bastard. Get your hands off that lady.
I like that one. I've got a better one though.
Go on.
That's the Untouchables, isn't it? He brings a gun. No, he brings a knife. You bring a gun. He puts you in the hospital. You put him in the morgue.
Wow.
Nice.
No, your one was better.
If you
Come on,
can,
now, see your Connery one.
Billy Connolly. Oh, no!
oh god,
Come on,
am I really
just
getting
do Bond.
involved?
Just do Bond.
It's just...
But
Playing-
this is your slash and your six, and you play with a slash and your seven.
I'm playing tennis against Pete Sampras tomorrow at tennis.
When you're playing tennis, oh shit, I forgot my racket.
That sounds better. Fuck knows what. I don't know, old Irish. My God.
We've offended that Scottish person who wrote in earlier anyway.
I think so. Yeah.
But we apologise for everything we've done in the last 10
I
minutes.
think we offend everyone.
Yeah, I think so. We're pretty
No
much-
one's offended.
Well, the thing is, if we offend everyone, then we're not missing anyone out, aren't
Exactly.
we? We're being all inclusive, and that's what 2022 is all about.
I like my women like I like my parcels. Fragile, damaged, and covered in brown tape. Why not pop down to the post office today?
Onwards we go, gentlemen. Music calls us. Let's talk about our top 3 albums and some also rans of the year. Richie D, let's start with you. Give us your faves.
Okay, this is again another tough one, but REM, New Adventures in Hi-Fi, could have easily been my number 1, could have easily been my number 2, but because I know Phil is a big REM, I let him chat about it. Number 2
Wow, I mean, making big assumptions.
is I think
Is Phil going to chat about it? That's the question.
number 2, another big assumption maybe. If not, then later on I'll go over it.
Yeah.
I think this might be Jimmy. Again, it probably would have been my number 1, but it'll be Ocean Colour Scene, Mosey Shoals. Great album.
Yeah.
Again, but again, I'll let you go into it in more detail. So what I'm going to choose as my number 1 is Shed 7, A Maximum High. And
I thought that was 95.
No, it's 96.
That's why I didn't
And
include
What
so-
songs
it.
did they have on that one?
They had It's Getting Better.
Yeah.
Where Have You Been Last Night? Going for Gold, Lies.
Was Bully Boy on there as well?
Yeah, I can't remember. No, I don't think it was actually. Stand By as well.
Oh, yeah.
And Out By My Side. And and another song which I don't think gets enough credit, which I love it. It's a proper album track. It probably won't mean too much to people, but it's Lady Man. It's a song called Lady
Yeah.
Man, and it's, to me, it's a quality song. But the whole album, actually, all 3 albums on here are all uplifting albums that made me feel good when I listened to them. And they got softer songs on there, obviously, but it's just, for me, it's a fantastic it's just
That is
a
a great
fantastic
shout, Richard.
I haven't
collaboration.
even seen that shit.
I tell you, because I didn't see it in sort of the top sellers of the year and all the rest of it. It totally bypassed me. That's an amazing album. I love Shed 7.
Yeah, they're very underrated, aren't they? Band.
I remember them from it's pure festival lineup.
Yeah.
They were always there and never top of the bill.
No,
but they were like a
that's what I mean,
solid middle of the day performer.
That was
amazing.
their, and also that I think that was their second or third album.
Yeah.
So to do that on a second or third album is it's generally
the
generally
difficult
first album, yeah.
third album. Yeah, absolutely.
So,
they're pumping out that amount of quality tracks.
Yeah, but like I say, the
Great
others
shout.
could have easily been in there. But I guess that you guys would have talked about them, so I can chip in with the
Wow.
others. So,
Well, thank you for remembering that because
But I
that
remembered
is-
it before you sent out the thing about the festival. So with the Shed 7.
Wowzers.
So I thought that might trigger your mind to look for it. So I thought you might bring it up. I wasn't too sure if Phil
Silly
would.
Jimmy.
My memory is appalling. It turns
Silly
out.
Jimmy.
Yeah, unless it's
But a lot
physically written
of
down
these
for me,
albums get lost
struggling.
because again, it's just it's just on opinion, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's opinion,
absolutely.
obviously.
Yeah, it's all
records that-
subjective,
yeah.
isn't it? You know, yeah.
So,
It's a great shout, though. Absolutely cracking shout. I'm very impressed with that. Nice. Mr. Reynolds, let's go to you in that case.
So number 3,
Yes.
I've got Counting Crows, their second album, Recovering the Satellites.
Nice.
yeah, it's a great album.
Very
Yeah, I
good
love
album.
it.
Not as good as the first.
What would we have had on that?
Long December.
Yeah.
So that was their big one off it.
Yeah.
Even the title song.
Angels of the Silences.
Title song's quite
Recovering the Satellites. Yeah, Catapults.
What's
Good,
the one-
he's a good album. He's really good.
What's the
Like,
one we talked about Romeo?
This Romeo
Elizabeth
was
is-
bleeding.
Elizabeth is sleeping or something. Elizabeth
It might be.
You got it's a
Miller's
really good
Angel.
album.
Miller's Angels.
Miller's
Great song.
Angels. Yeah, that's on there. Yeah, it's a really good album.
Oh, that is Miller's Angels is
Is
Hey
that
Romeo.
song? Oh.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah, it might be. Yeah, but yeah, really good. So it just falls short of their debut one, but still.
Right up there.
Very good album.
Yeah, impressive.
it's
Good choice.
So yeah, that was my number 3. Number 2, again, Molesley Shows as well.
Nice.
Brilliant album. I remember loving it at the time. I always remember as well, it was one of them first albums where the tracks blend into one another.
Yes,
it wasn't
yeah.
like cut off. It was like it was like a little
Yeah, they did, didn't they?
and then it would start
And
like
then the next song
and it would
was
go
like-
straight
yeah,
into
you're
it.
right.
And it was like every track was like that. I remember just thinking, this is really good. Like,
Yeah.
never heard that before, but. Yeah, brilliant. Easy could have been number one. And I loved Ocean Colour Scene. I wasn't much of the Britpop, as I've spoken about before, but they were something different. I quite liked them.
Yeah, and we mentioned sort of the TFI Friday.
Yeah, they weren't in your face.
So,
I think that's what kind of wound me up with Blur in a way. So it was too in your face. Whereas Ocean Colour Scene were just...
Well, especially if the press are like pumping
yeah, they
it
were
out,
just doing their
just
thing,
feeding
going
that
around,
fire.
quietly
They
doing
were,
it, and I quite liked
Just
that.
making amazing music, yeah.
And they were like Paul Welling. A lot of them were like
Yeah.
Paul Weller's like back to the
Influenced by
Yeah, the lead
Wasn't they? Yeah.
guitarist and
But yeah,
I think
very
drummer
good
most
album.
did, didn't
Yeah,
they? And Paul Weller actually plays on some of their stuff, I think. as
Yeah,
well.
I think
so,
you're right,
yeah.
yeah.
He's such a musician almost.
So yeah, well,
It's
that's
not a bad
like
thing,
I
is
say.
it? Yeah.
I went and saw him live, so I clearly liked him. Very good album.
Yep.
But number one, as Del was rightly so, they didn't make my top three last time. But the boys are back. Didn't let me down.
Didn't
REM.
Didn't
New
listen.
Adventures in Hi-Fi.
Badil, Skinner, and Ian
And
Brady.
and Brody.
Bro.
Yeah, REM New Adventures in Hi-Fi. They were back to their best for this one. Recorded on the road mainly as well, on the Monster Tour.
Oh, was it? Okay.
So a lot of these were sound checks, so they basically recorded it all whilst touring.
Freebies.
And did a lot of, I think 4 or 5 tracks was actual sound checks when they were doing them. But you don't
Just blasted
realise
through it and then...
Yeah.
Wow.
But it's a
So it's a tight band. At that
Yeah,
point. So
yeah.
if you can knock those out.
and this was obviously when this was their last album with Bill Berry. Obviously, he had the aneurysm, which we didn't actually discuss on the last one, did we? But he had his that aneurysm whilst they were on tour.
Yeah.
And then this was their last album with him. And this is just when they'd done that. They're just after this 80 million record deal. Do you remember that? When they were like,
Oh, yeah.
at the time, it was like the biggest
Who
record
was that
deal in
with?
history. Warner Brothers,
Warner
wasn't it?
Brothers,
Yeah,
yeah.
they stayed with them. But I think, and to be fair, I think that's what kind of went against them. They lost a lot of their fans there because
It's,
it's publicised, isn't it? And then suddenly everyone's, blah, blah, blah. But
This is just, yeah.
at the time, it was a big thing, wasn't it? They were offered this big money and they took it. And but I think it was justified at the time. They were the biggest band in the world, in my opinion. But a great album.
Yeah.
It's a kind of a best of, I think. It's got a bit of everything.
Yeah.
A bit of everything of REM. You've got fast tracks, you've got rocky tracks, you've got the slow songs, you've got goofy songs. I mean, you've got like Electrolyte on there.
Yeah, Electrolyte's beautiful, isn't it?
Bit of Sweet Me, Ebo the Letter.
For me, it's the best last album.
Yeah, I
last
think
best
so.
album, even.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it was, like I say, it was. I think it goes to show Bill Berry was a bit of a secret weapon of theirs, really, because I think when he went, they still did some good stuff.
Lost
you
a little
noticed
something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was something missing from there, but
Yeah.
this I was kind of glad they came back to their best. The boys done good.
Boys done good. As did you with your list. Well played, sir. Well played.
What about
Nice.
you, Jimmy?
Well, again, we have similar tastes, so little bits of this are going to cross over. I mean, some of the stuff that I contemplated, Placebo's first album, Placebo itself, was I just really liked a few of the things, like Bruce Pristine and Bits and Pieces.
What was the? I'm trying to think of the
Nancy Boy.
Nancy Boy, yeah.
And again, sort of from that festival atmosphere as well, just seeing them live, they knew how to belt out a tune with the three of them. That was really good. Cooler Shaker were all right.
Special K.
But, I mean, man alive, what were we thinking? Absolute nonsense in the end. But at the time, it was big at the time. It was big at the time. Well, they were right up there for me. Sleeper's It Girl, the second album.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, I forgot about Sleeper.
Was there. Other albums that nearly made it, The Manics and Everything Must Go.
Yeah. Ash as well, 1977.
Now that is my number 3.
Is that what girls?
So what way round have you done? Have you done your 3, 2, 1?
So they were my nearlies.
Okay.
So
Sorry, I
this,
thought you'd
so Ash 1977 was my number 3.
Yeah.
It was just the fact they were like really young, so it was again similar ages because that was obviously the year they were
Was that
born.
like start of the summer or whatever?
So you had there was sort of little hints of the Ramones and Teenage Fan Club.
What was
and
the Mars
different
song?
fruits.
Girl from Mars,
Girl from Mars.
yeah,
and
that's
Kung
great,
Fu
yeah.
about
I used to love
Jackie
Kung
Chan
Fu,
and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
So
that's
again,
great,
it reminds me of the Brush and early V festivals and all of that kind of. It's of a moment.
Yeah.
But they were the same age as us, and it was just like 3 mates going on tour essentially from
100%,
Belfast.
yeah.
So it was just amazing. It was a bit of pop punk mixed with a bit of garage rock, and it just kind of worked. It was just a bit of aggression, a little bit of melancholy, and it's all very nice. It was,
Yeah,
great little
100%
album.
then.
But again, two fabulous tunes for a jukebox, basically. Yeah, that stuff blasted out when you're at the bar. My number 2 and my number 1 were almost interchangeable in the same way that you guys struggled. I did as well.
Okay.
So I think I've changed my mind, literally, in the way that
Last
Dell's
minute,
just
yeah.
done it. So my number 2 is Suede, coming up.
Yeah, I had that as
yeah,
an
it's a
honourable
great album,
mention.
yeah.
Yeah, it's good. That's probably my favourite Suede album. Yeah.
After the disaster of like the Dogman Star thing,
Is that where I like fashion and
Butler went.
yeah?
It's like
So
beautiful.
I'll get you, Butler.
So get that bus out.
Is this one with Trash or is it?
So
Trash?
this has got Trash, Film Star, Lazy, She, Beautiful Ones, Saturday Night,
Oh, beautiful one.
I remember seeing them at the Cliffs Pavilion.
By the Sea. Yeah,
Brilliant concert.
Yeah.
that was.
because they were basically like not the album before didn't work. They lost the lead guitarist and they got the 17-year-old in,
Yeah.
and just it was like, how are they going to make this work? And they just went, right, we'll
If you
just
wanted
scrap
to-
everything we've done.
yeah.
Let's get back to
Revitalised
just
them,
If
didn't
you wanted
Pop-
like to
pop
introduce,
tunes.
like if someone come over, like say if I had an American friend who'd come over and I wanted to introduce them to a really British band.
Yes, it
I'd
was a
say,
total
go
sound
see,
of
Great,
Britishness.
go see Suede. Yeah.
But yeah, 10 songs of not pop perfection almost. It was like
Oh, yeah.
40 something minutes. It was like
Yeah, I
4
like
minutes
it.
ago,
This is like I
done.
say, I think it's my favourite Suede album.
Yeah, really, 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 really good. Enjoyed it a lot. But it is beaten by Moseley Shoals, which is mentioned by
Yeah,
Ocean Colour
it's
Scene.
amazing.
Yeah,
It's a
great,
fab
yeah.
album, isn't it? It's
It is,
just, I mean, it starts with that opening riff of the Riverboat song from TFI.
Yeah, they were a very good band. I used to like them. Yeah.
Really, really good. But then you had that weird. So we've all gone kind of that guitar based stuff, but in running alongside that, because we were also in clubs as well as pubs, there was all this different dance music and stuff about, which obviously
Yeah,
none of us
100%,
mentioned
yeah.
for album wise.
Yeah.
But it's like some of the songs out there were just like really, really good. It's bizarre.
Yeah, that's great stuff. And it was all like we spoke before about it, Jim, didn't we? It was all like 2 years previous that it was underground stuff, like your Baby
And then
D's, like
made
your Suitcase
it-
at the Door, yeah, all that sort of stuff. You had your Chicago type house and
Yeah.
your different types of garage and
Sounds like pizza.
yeah. I could do a Chicago house right now.
Chicago, get the fucking Chicago house.
Man,
Was that your Scottish?
Yeah, Sean Connery. That's a great Sean Connery.
Yeah, I knew I'd get it at some point.
He's nailed it. Did you get that, Barry? Lovely.
Yeah. But yeah, that capsulated, like you say, an album a little bit later, things like Children, Robert Miles, and all that come out. It's more commercial stuff, but obviously the hardcore stuff, what you'd listen to in certain clubs, it was it was quality.
Yeah.
You had great DJs and stuff, but it was all unknown, and a lot of the soul singers and stuff. A lot of that music got not brushed under the carpet, but it just didn't get
It
the
just didn't
attention
quite it deserves. Yeah, there was a lot of good stuff knocking around. It was weird when you looked at the charts just as singles. There was 24 different songs that got to number 1 in that year. The most since 1980, my research tells me.
So like 2 weeks every time, really.
Lots
just
of
in number
them
one,
didn't make it. So you had things like, I mean, I'll run you through a couple. George Michael, Babylon Zoo, Take That.
Babylon Zoo.
Yeah.
Spaceman.
Yeah, absolutely. Gina G, Three Lions,
Oh.
Mark Morrison with the Return of the Mac.
Wow.
Oasis topped the chart, Boyzone topped the chart, Peter Andre topped the chart, and then Prodigy as well.
Did you boys have any other honourable mentions?
Yeah, no, it's Beck, Odelay.
Yes,
great
of
album.
course.
Yeah, I like that.
Where's that?
And probably, obviously, didn't really like it, but it would have been huge. Was Spice and Spice Girls.
Yeah,
Obviously,
Spice
that was
Girls.
massive.
Okay. Sheryl Crow.
Yeah.
Crow.
That seagull's back.
Yeah,
You put
he's
him in,
back and he's.
You put him in the hospital. You put him in the morgue. I'm getting worse.
It sounds a bit like Richard Attenborough in Jurassic Park. I can't quite work it out.
Wow. Can you do that voice to say about every day's the winding road?
Oh no, can you do You disrespect me on the day of my daughter's wedding? Can you do it as that? Do that speech from The Godfather
Sean
but
Connery?
with exactly that accent? Because I think it works.
So what have I got to say?
You just got to do the Godfather thing.
Well, as Sean
But
Connery.
as your Sean
That's
Connery.
bloody hell. I'm trying to do it as Marlon Brando's.
Oh, I can't wait to see what your Marlon Brando sounds
Why don't you
like.
do it as Marlon Connery?
You're making me an offer I can't refuse.
That sounds like
Chicago Town of Pizza.
That sounds like Mr. Knightley, our old paper round boss. Oh dear. Oh dear.
We
Anyway.
are pulling out.
Well, I had, sorry
Go on,
guys.
Rich.
Anyway, I had Sheryl Crow with
Sheryl Crow.
Sheryl Crow.
Sean Crow. Sean Crow.
Sean Crow.
Cheryl's brother.
Sean Crow with throwing snow. With every happy and every day is a winding road. Skunk and Nancy with Stush with Stush with hedonism and brazen.
That's a great album.
And Tiger Milk. With was it breast Bell and Sebastian with Tiger Milk, and why I said breasts was there was a tiger breastfeeding a lady. No, there's a lady breastfeeding a tiger. That's on the front cover. And there was some great songs like She's Losing It.
You're losing
I'm losing it.
She's not the only one, is she?
I'm losing it. I did a shit in your mum's pillowcase. And the other one was Divine Comedy with Casanova, Alfie, Frog Princess, and Something for the Weekend.
Yes.
And the final one I got in here is Spilling the Piss by the Clumsy Plumbers.
I'm trying to think of. I found the one that's the fake one.
Were they just like in Home Alone 3 or something?
They were in Home Alone 3, yes, the 100%.
Wet Bandits.
And they sang the title song, You've Cracked My Love Pipe. Can't Push Down Mr. Brown. And I Can Never Say I Love You with a plunger on my face. So, there you go.
Man, I like in the same way that you've got to watch a couple of films.
I'm going to be busy.
I've got to listen to an album. So we'll wrap the music up there because we've got a lot of homework to do.
Do you know men like Ken? Do you know men with no genitals? Of course you do. They're men that have had their genitals cut off because they tried it on with another man's daughter. If you know someone with no genitals, why not get in touch at our peer group at nonuts.com. We're not here to judge.
Right then, chaps, that is everything. Film, TV, music, we've covered the whole damn gamut. But delving into our little post bag and letters and emails cabinet, we've got a few in from the listeners. One here, I'm going to open it up to the pair of you, and I might even contribute myself.
Sure.
Who were your top 3 girl crushes of the 90s? I mean,
No, well,
sure.
Demi number 1.
Was Demi Moore in there by any chance?
Demi number
Phil?
1, Van Damme number 2, Costner 3.
Yeah, very true. A sturdy 3. Richard Dello.
Oh,
Want to confess your teenage love?
Like Sharon Stone. I'll go with Demi Moore, and just for pure filthy end of the pier, Joanne Guest. Lads Mag type.
Of course, because it was that sort of time, wasn't it?
Yeah, that type of film.
FHM, all the rest of them. But nice.
What was yours anyway?
I think it would have been along the lines of Kelly Brook and that sort of, the obvious beauty, sure. And then everyone was trying to steal, Demi Moore off you, Phil.
Demi Moore, Lopez
without success. Next question we've got: what Spice Girl are you? Well, obviously we know Shorty Spice.
I used to like Posh Spice when she was in it, so I'd just say that.
Yeah, stick with that. Yeah, sure. Thinks a lot of himself. Okay.
Probably have to be scary, wouldn't it?
Sherry Spice.
Scary.
Sherry Spice. Holy mackerel.
I'd have a Sherry Spice today.
English Spice.
You're going to give me nightmares.
Delightful. Right, that is that viewer. Let's move on. We've got a couple more in the bag. Phil, have you ever kicked a duck in the face? And if so, do you agree with this kind of thing? That's from the unknown gangster from Rayleigh.
No.
Nor me.
No.
I'd like to say now.
No, we don't abide that thing.
No harm to any animals, if you please. We got a question from Lee from Long Island. Out of all the characters in Street Fighter 2, who do you think would make the best lover? And that's a question specifically for you, Del.
Oh, lover. Oh, I don't know. See, I'd probably have to get it on with, I don't know, Chung-Li. But I think at the end of the day, best lover would probably be E Honda, just because he's got the 100-hand slap. And I reckon if he tossed you off, that'd be just, I don't know.
Give you a good massage as well, wouldn't he, beforehand?
Well, yeah.
Or after.
Well, yeah, that's true, yeah. So I think, yeah.
We're thinking he had a sort of a day job as a
Blanca
masseuse in a football
could like
team
obviously
or something.
elect you up, so would that work?
Could
Maybe.
work. Who knows?
Maybe more...
Hit the right spot.
Yeah, exactly.
What's a good spot? Not a hot spot. Something like
I've
that.
got a feeling Zangief would be a bit too fumbly, and Ryu and Ken are just like standard.
Bit too crumbly.
Like, bit too Hollywood though.
Exactly, too Hollywood. Yeah, they've disappeared up their own
Why'd you get
selves, haven't
fisted by Dowson?
they? From around the corner. 100 foot
He
away.
could go order your takeaway and
like that.
fist you at the same time.
Bit like that Pete Sampras volley into the girls' privates. Similar thing.
I mean, not in the slightest is that similar, but we'll run with it. Moving swiftly on to everyone. Who would play you in a movie of Not 40, Just Blank? Phil. I mean, you're going to say Costner. But
Could be
or
Van
he's
Damme,
going to
right?
say Van Damme.
No,
It's
I
one
don't
of
know,
them.
but-
Or could it be Sean Connery?
I was going to say, maybe it'd have to be Connery so he could actually
be.
nail that accent. And he'd probably still fuck it
He'd
up.
have to do an impression of you doing an impression of him.
And he'd still fuck it up.
And he'd still get it wrong, yeah.
He'd be too lazy on it. I don't know. I don't know. Someone just pretty fucking boring, isn't it? Let's say
That's the spirit.
Woody Allen.
I mean,
That's probably the worst person.
That you really don't want-
I might as well pick Kevin Spacey, mightn't I?
basically you don't want any of the actors from the 80s, it turns out.
I don't know.
Something to think about. Maybe we'll come back to that one. Dale, have you got anyone in mind who'd play you?
Louis Spence.
Louis Spence from Pineapple Dance Studios.
Yeah. So I think
Interested because of your sick dance moves?
Yeah, just because,
could do the
as you
splits.
know, I've struggled in past years for all my dancing moves.
He's got moves for you.
Oh, it's not because you can do the splits then. And you just like have to show it off at every opportunity you can.
Yeah, because I know for a fact if I did the splits in the studio right now, there'd be a call to, I know, probably A&E.
You'd be calling your mum again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
From absolute peace. Mummy, I've done it. Help me.
Supreme. Yeah, Spence, just for them reasons. Could have gone Swayze, but obviously,
Yeah.
are we talking about, I guess we're talking about current.
Just say dead, isn't it?
Well, yeah.
It would be tough, but you know, we could
CGI.
we could do a hologram thing. Yeah.
CGI
What about yourself,
Fridays.
Jimmy?
Oh man, that's a toughie. I mean, back in my thin days, who knows? It could have been Peter Crouch, but more like John Candy, sadly. So we might have to go for another hologram.
No.
Let's go with that.
Yes,
Let's go with that.
do it, man.
Let's go with John Candy. Any more? Let's have a look. Phil, one for you from Liam. Says, I'm still waiting for you to finish off your paper round from 1992. Number 8 Underhill Road is missing their Daily Mirror and are doing their absolute bollocks. Are you available tomorrow to complete it? If not, I will find you and hunt you down.
No, I've got exams tomorrow, so I can't make it.
Same excuse.
My story stands.
Just 30 years later. Same excuse.
So no, I've got mock exams.
Sorry, Liam, we can't help. Looks like you're taking the extra weight yourself.
Yep.
And that is everything we have from the postbag. So thank you very much for your letters and emails. And that is your lot, I think. So, Bob's Your Uncle, that is 1996 done and dusted. Another eventful year, I'm sure you'll agree, listeners. If you don't, please give us a shout on our Instagram, our Facebook or our Twitter page, and we'll chat away till the cows come home with you about it. Rich, Phil, it's been a pleasure as always to reminisce with you. Have a good time.
I had a great time.
Oh, Sean, did you see where Phil went? That was the worst one yet. I hope for our sake, all of your other impressions make it into the edit. Otherwise, that will just be really weird. So we'll take it. Phil had a lovely time being Sean Connery for the day. Del, all good? How'd you follow it? I don't know where you go with this.
I'm okay. For once in my life, I'm not going.
You're not the weirdest one in the room.
Yeah, pretty much.
You're coming out absolutely on top of it.
I'm not going to geek off. I'm just going to hold it together and just say, thank you so much, lovely people.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure. We'll be back again in a couple of weeks with a new episode looking back at 1997. But until then, this is us three and Sean saying ciao for now.
Bye. Bye.
Cheers, bye.
Good afternoon. Fucking hell, Reynolds. I've never heard someone practice something and get worse so rapidly. It's that it's so far away from being Sean Connery. It's never. I don't think he's ever visited Sean's house. Oh, splendid
impression half right tonight.
Fucking hell, that's amazing. Oh, well, I don't really know. I don't. He came out of nowhere. And, well, Fortune. You sound like Victor Meldrew at one point, out of 1 foot in the grave. 4291. Mrs. Warboys, would you? I don't really know.